I just want to let you know that all of that money is going to belong to me in the end. So all of you and your family, don't get your hopes up, okay? I promise to at least give him a good funeral to make up for taking it all from myself. What? Miley, what is all of this about? And what did you just mean by all of that? I just meant what I said is all. Have you started to forget how to read and understand English or something? I have no plans of giving you guys any of the money your brother has left behind. Your brother is no longer of this world, and that means you all have nothing to do with me anymore. Since you're all complete strangers, I'm not going to hand anything over. In other words, what you're saying is, a lot of money was left over by my brother, and you're wanting access to it all? That's what you're going on about? You don't want to share it, is that what you're saying? That's what I'm saying, yes. I heard that you aren't that smart at all, even though your brother happened to become a doctor of all people. And I can see right now you are just as stupid as he mentioned. Are you sure you're not mentally challenged in some way? Don't start making me repeat everything I say to you over and over again. Wait, hold on a second. Is this really you, Miley? For some reason, this Miley who I'm talking with now is completely different from the person I'd known before. I never expected her to be someone who could say such awful things to other people about themselves. I'm a bit shocked by all of this, and that's why it's hard for me to say anything at the moment. And that's why I was saying what I said. I had married into my husband's family, and he wanted me to play nice with everyone in it. And so I went ahead and got along with all of you, making myself look all kind and whatnot. But now that he's no longer around, I'm going to cut ties to every single one of you. And I'll be doing so with no restraint at all. Huh? Now I see. So this whole time you just had a mask on is all, right? That's exactly right. So from now on, would you please stop thinking about me as your family? Understood. What is this about there being an entrance fee now? We still happen to be my brother's family, you know. I understand that, but I am his wife still. I'm the one in charge of who can come into this funeral and who can't, meaning there is no say in it for you. So if you'd all like to be a part of this funeral today, you all have to pay me a lump fee of $50,000. If you're not able to pay me that much, then you guys will not be able to take part in this funeral today. Are you really asking that from us right now? This is everyone's very last chance to see my brother's face before he's buried. I have been with my brother ever since I was born. I would really like to take one last look at his face before having to say goodbye to him forever. What? So now you're going to beg with tears now, huh? Well, that sort of thing doesn't work on me, so, So, I was the one your brother chose to marry, okay? And that means whatever I say goes. You are so mean, Miley. I seriously never thought that someone like you could be that rotten deep down. Shut up and bring me that money now. There's no way we'd do that for you. Are you sure you even understand what you're even doing here? Because you're about to become a complete stranger to this whole entire family of his. Is that really something you want right now? I've been telling you that's what I want this whole time. How much longer are you going to try forcing me to be a part of your family? All right then, I understand. Well, if you do, get the hell out of here. And don't you guys ever come around me again. Sure, that's the plan from now on. Now, we're all going to head home. Goodbye forever, Miley.
Cam, it's been a long time since we'd last talked. I'm your older brother's good friend Jay, in case you didn't already know that. There's a few things that I'd like to chat with you about, so when you have the time, please get back to me.
Jay! Oh, long time no see. Of course I knew it was you since I still have your number in my phone. Although the last time I ever saw and spoke to you was when we had lunch together a year or two ago, right?
Yeah, I think that was the last time. I've had a lot more work lately, and I've been so busy with that, which left me no time to come and see all of you guys, so I'm sorry about that.
Is that why you haven't been around much? That really sucks. So then, does you messaging me again like this after so long mean that you know?
I've heard. It's something I feel so terrible for and wanted to express my sincerest sympathies to all of you about. I had actually thought I'd be seeing you all yesterday, but it sounded like you and your family were all missing from the funeral, right?
Ah, so you actually went to the funeral, did you? Actually, all of my family showed up to be there, but, well, my brother's wife was there. I don't want to say that there's anything wrong with that woman, but she told all of us that we had to pay an entrance fee to get into the funeral.
What? Wait. What the hell do you mean? When it comes to the funeral, isn't it the whole family who's holding it for the deceased? Would there ever be a family who doesn't show up to say goodbye to one of their own?
You'd think there couldn't be, which is why this was so unbelievable for us as well. But she told us that we wouldn't be allowed in unless we paid. And, well, we didn't just pay. We told her that if that's really how she wanted to behave at her husband's funeral, then that was fine and we wouldn't have any part of it.
What kind of money was she asking for, though? Is that even something someone like her should be doing?
She told us that if we wanted to go in and say goodbye to my brother, we had to pay her $50,000. And that we'd have to pay it all together on that day.
$50,000? Is she messed up in the head or something?
It really seems that she is. And that's why my parents and I gave up on it right then and there. So we left and went back home and mourned my brother without being able to see his face one last time. Seems that his wife really wants all of his money all to herself. We had no plans of talking about that while we were there anyway, but she did say to us all that she would be cutting ties right then and there. If that's what she really wants to do, then we decided to let her be.
I see. I always thought there was something up with that woman from the very start, but now I know there are a ton of things wrong with her. Well, if that's the case, then this conversation is going to be a whole lot quicker for me. I've made up my mind now. I'm going to make sure to give you all everything you wanted on her, okay?
What are you talking about, Jay?
There was another reason for me getting in touch with you today, Cam. It has to do with that wife of your brother's, and something that goes along with what you and your parents asked me to do a long time ago.
What? I'm not sure what you mean. Does this all have to do with what you found?
Well, in some parts, yes, but thankfully she was never able to find out about me and never noticed me at the funeral. Luckily, your brother helped too by going to work a lot before he passed, so I got a lot of details now. But man, was I worried yesterday that she'd notice me from somewhere and confront me on it. But of course she never did, because it's not like she'd care about someone of my likes anyway, right?
Is that right? Then what's this all about? I'm still confused as to what these details are, Jay.
You just told me how she was trying to get all of that money out of you and your family, right? Well, there was a reason behind why she asked for $50,000.
Wait, what do you mean?
And also, the one who should really be paying up right now is her of all people.
Jake, can you please elaborate a bit more for me about all of this? Excuse me? What is going on here? All my brother left behind for me was $400,000 worth of debt that I now have to pay off. Oh, is that right? Well then, good luck with paying all that off. Remember, you didn't want to share any of that inheritance with the rest of us. So make sure to pay it all off by yourself. I knew there was something up with you not crying about getting nothing from him. In other words, you knew this would happen and forced me to take it all for myself, right? Hey, what kind of bullcrap is that? I never said anything at all about that sort of thing and was just going along with everything you were saying, right? You were the one that told me you wanted all of his money, right? My family and I thought that if you wanted it so much that you could have it, and never said anything about how you had to take it all for yourself. So if anything, you were the one forcing us not to take it, right? Forcing you all not to? What the hell does that mean? We all never wanted for you to take on all $400,000 of that debt because we all felt bad for you. And the plan was for all of us to take on that debt in order to help you out the best we could. But you came out of nowhere being all greedy about how it was all going to be yours, all of that debt, and so... What? You guys were going to help me pay off all this debt? Well, we were, but then you started acting like you already knew about it since you were acting so tough, wanting all of the inheritance and all my brother was leaving. And then at the funeral, you made it even more clear to us that you didn't want for our help when asking for $50,000 in order to let us in to see my brother one last time. Originally, we had all thought about talking to you about the debt at the funeral in case there was a chance you didn't know about it. But, you kind of stopped that from happening. What? You guys plan to talk to me during the funeral? That's right. Yet with all of that in mind, you went and blocked all of us from coming inside. You made it very clear to us that we were like your enemy in some ways and that you would do anything you could to make sure we couldn't touch what my brother had left behind. And in the end, we decided to let you be since you seemed to have everything under control. Are you being serious right now about that? In other words, what you're saying is that I never noticed your guys' intentions when coming and I chose a path that would lead to my own destruction? Yep, that's what it looks like to us. We were all there to lend you one last hand paying off all that debt, but instead you chose to do something completely different from what we expected. All because of some crazy fantasy you were having. No way. I never meant for this to happen. As for us, we were never given one last chance to say goodbye to my brother and didn't get to say any last words to him. All because of your greed and pride. Even though the time that we had spent with my brother was way longer than the time you went and spent with him. Instead of thinking about the feelings of his whole entire family and what they wanted, you chose to think only about what you wanted, and that was what you thought to be my brother's money. You really are the worst, Miley. And now all of us will not be forgiving you ever again for that. I'm really sorry. I didn't think things would turn out like this after doing all of that. I mean, my husband was a doctor of all people. I assumed that he'd have so much money left over in his bank accounts for me to have. To see he was in this much debt now? How could this have happened to him? In order to become a doctor, one must spend a whole ton of money for the education and all. And yet my brother, being as ignorant as ever, assumed that he'd be able to pay off all of that debt the moment he became a doctor, and spent most of his time during school playing around and spending tons of money. He also chose to start his own clinic after he had graduated, which alone cost him millions, having to buy his own place and all of the machinery and furnishings for the place. And in the end, he was left in a lot of debt, which he was able to pay most of off, but not all of it. He was always the kind of person to think about things in a short-term manner and never thought about the outcomes in the long term. I'm sure now you're wishing he had been the other way around and focused more on what would come in the future ahead, instead of just how things have been right now. No way, I never knew he was like that. I mean, he was always working, right? He should have been making so much that he could have kept in his savings or something. He would always buy me these really expensive and high-end brands for my birthday, too. There was never a moment where I doubted him and his finances. And like I'd said, he only ever cared about the moment. To him, that meant he just assumed he'd pay off all the debt he was getting into one day. Sure, he was making a lot of money as a doctor for a little while there, but even with all that money, it wasn't enough for the tremendous amount of debt he'd gotten himself into. No way. I'll apologize. So will you guys please come back here and help me? There's no way for someone like myself to be able to pay all of this debt off. I've always been a housewife for your brother, and even if I were able to get a part-time job, I'd never be able to make enough. Currently, the house I'm in is being paid for with a loan as well, and we're just about to pay it all off. Which means the only money we do have is meant for me to do that with. There's no way for me to pay off that debt he's left me with, so please, as family, you all please do something about this. Do you really think that we'd still be interested in helping you just because you're the one asking now? Weren't you the one who also told me that we have nothing to do with you anymore and that you'd be cutting ties to us? And I said that I'd apologize for saying that. Let's just forget about that all ever even happening. I mean, you're all the ones related to one another by blood, right? I shouldn't have to be the one paying off all this debt he left behind. And it's not like I knew he was in so much debt anyway. I just wanted the money to help me out with my new life as a widow now. Right now, there's nothing that I can do to avoid being ruined. And I'm saying that has nothing to do with us now. Not only are we all not related to you by blood in any way, but you said it yourself that you didn't want us around anymore as your in-laws. So no matter how hopeless things are for you or how sad you are, we don't care. Everything that's happened to you now was done by you alone, so you figure out how to manage all of that by yourself now. And I'm saying that that's impossible for me right now. This is all the debt that your brother got into, right? Well, I'm telling you to do something about all of it right now. Really? Getting all upset at me now over something you did to yourself? What a baby. So let me get this straight. If he had left behind loads of money, that would all become yours, but when it's all a bunch of debt he's left behind, it should somehow become my problem? Doesn't make any more sense when I say it to myself, even. Wow. Nice try there, but everything you just said to me there only proves you're a greedy jerk. But Kim, if all of this was going to happen to me, then I would have been better off never marrying him. Saying things like that to us now is only making yourself look worse. Your marriage was something that you chose to let happen and something you chose to show off to the world, which means you now have to take responsibility for all of it. Trying to make others take responsibility for that all isn't something someone your age should be doing, Miley. Why not, Kim? If I can't get any help, then what the hell am I supposed to do here? By the way, I'm cutting ties to you all and never show your face around me again came out of you, right? Yet now you're the one coming to me for help and asking me what you should be doing. Honestly, it's a mystery how someone like you even made it as far as marrying a doctor or anything like that. If you've cut ties to us, then you leave me out of this and figure it out yourself. Well, I can't figure it all out myself, and that's why I'm asking for your help. Please. You all have money, don't you? And this whole time you've been all on your own making things happen, right? That means you of all people have to have a lot of money on you right now. Well, even if I did have a lot of money right now, none of it would be going to a pile of crap like you, Miley. I don't want to have someone of your pathetic likeness to have my money in your hands. Especially when you went and stabbed my own brother in the back, you asshole. What? Stabbed him in the back? What are you talking about? Let me just say that we already know about everything that's happened there. About how you always went to that male strip club and went back there recently to start giving more and more money to one of the men you liked. You've had relations with that man even still while married to my brother for so long. What? Wait. What are you going on about? I never did anything like that while your brother had been around. Now, would you stop saying such nonsense at a time like this about me? That's what I'd like to be asking you. How could you marry someone like my brother and take all of his money from him like that to use on another man at a strip club you used to always go to, even going and sleeping with him from time to time while my brother was working the night shift? That right there makes you the worst woman ever, and you are so bad now that I have nothing else to say to you. I just told you to stop saying things like that about me. What the hell makes you even think I ever went and did all of that? Especially when your brother isn't even around anymore. Do you really think saying things like that about me, making me look bad, is going to be left unchecked by me? Sure, all right then. My brother's dead now, which means that he'll never know about what had happened to him. But that's even more reason as to why my family and I are working so hard to make sure you pay for what you'd done to my brother while he was alive. We knew some of this was going on while he was still around, but we didn't want him to die knowing that his wife was unfaithful to him, and wanted him to be happy instead as he left this world. Huh? What is even going on here? Why are you even bothering with me then? How come you all knew, but not him? He told us one time that he felt something off about you, but really didn't know what it was. And my family, wanting what was best for him, hired someone to take a further look into you while he'd be working and such. What? You hired someone to follow me? What are you going on about now? My family happened to know someone close to my brother who also happens to work for the police. And, well, we asked him to take a look at what was going on with you when he was out working, and so he did just that for his friend's sake. He gathered a lot of evidence that would help us help my brother get a divorce from you. But before any of that could happen, that terrible accident happened to my brother, and he was left with only weeks to live. You're lying, right? You guys were gathering evidence of all of it? Are you really telling me something like that right now? You really think I'd be lying to you about all of these things right now? Anyway, we have all the evidence that we can show to you now. And what we plan to do next is sue both of you for what you'd done to my brother. One other thing. We looked at my brother's phone after the crash and found that he'd received a couple of messages from the man you'd been with from the strip club. And it seems he was telling my brother to divorce you and let him have you. And he said that if he didn't do that the day before the accident, he'd kill my brother. Well, what do you know? That following day, my brother was hit in a hit-and-run case where we still weren't able to find the driver after. So there's a very high chance it was your man who did this to my brother and ended up killing him not too long after. That frickin' idiot! Why the hell would he say things like that before doing it? We were never told about it by my brother, but he did say to his friend, the detective, that he was being targeted and wanted to know what to do. Maybe your man assumed that my brother being a doctor meant he had too much money to want to sue him for taking you away. Well, your man just so happened to be more mentally challenged than you thought, huh? I mean, he is working as a stripper after all. What an absolute dumbass. You have to be lying right now. So that was the reason for everything? There's no way something like that could have actually happened between those two. Well, in terms of the timing, it all makes too much sense. And even if he wasn't the one who murdered my brother, you both are still in trouble. From now on, my family will be making sure you both pay for all of that with the help of the law, so be ready for that. You wanted us to help you pay off all that debt? Shut the hell up and focus on paying us the settlements we ask for first. You're going to pay everything off all by yourself and then apologize to all of us on your hands and knees. I get it. All right, I get it. I am really, and I mean really sorry for everything that I did. I've learned my lesson now after being shown everything I'd done wrong, all right? So would you please just overlook everything that's happened between that man and I? I bet you guys thought you were so lucky that you'd be able to get whatever my brother might have left behind after he died, right? You probably were thinking that you could use all that money you thought he would have left to continue having fun with it for the rest of your lives, while living in the house that he planned to pay off, right? That was never something we thought about. Stop that, please. Don't make us look like complete animals or anything. Your brother is dead now, and so there's no reason to be talking about his money or his debt anymore. All you're going to do is make everything worse for all of us, and that's no good, right? Okay, I'm not going to ask for you guys to help me out with the debt anymore. So can you all just leave me alone now? For someone who is all up and at it, looking to pick a fight with my family, you've really gone and tucked that tail in deep between your legs trying to scurry away, right? You've really done a great job not only ruining our lives with your greedy and toxic behavior, but you cost my brother his life with it too. You were right that my family has a lot of money right now, and we plan to use it on a lot of lawyers that can help us with you. We are going to make sure you take full responsibility for what you've done. And then both you and that man of yours from the strip club can go rot in hell once we're all done with you. I hope you're ready for that. After that, both Miley and her male stripper friend, who she cheated on my brother with the whole time they were married, would both face the wrath of my extremely angry family and I, and would have to wait for things to be taken into the hands of the law. When the time did come and 2 officers showed up to take her man away for questioning, Miley freaked out and tried to make a run for it so that we wouldn't be able to find her. But it wouldn't be long before that man was questioned and then released for a bit, and she went back to him to find out if he was going to be okay. And when that happened, my family's group of lawyers was with him and handed her all the paperwork on how much she'd be owing my family for what she'd done to my brother. I believe that when all the cases had finished up, she would have to owe us somewhere close to $60,000 and would be forced to pay it all in one lump payment. And when it came to my brother's debt, we made sure to tell his lawyer, who was handling everything he'd left behind, that we could not take it as his wife, Miley, said she'd be the one paying all his debt off. As for the house that my brother and Miley had been in, we made sure to have it sold off in order to help Miley pay us, and told her parents about the whole mess so that they could watch her while we weren't looking. Both her parents relayed to us later on that she had nobody left in her life to rely on for help, and would have to face all of that debt alone, especially after they too kicked her out of their house and onto the street so that she could really learn her lesson. Miley's man soon ran away from her after he was told that he'd have to go to court to face a judge for having been the one who must have hit and killed my brother, and that put Miley in a place where she only had one option, and that was borrowing money from a loan shark. I later heard on the news that her man was found by the police a few hundred miles away from the town, and had to be tackled to the ground before being taken to jail and then court, and then charged with murdering my brother. At this point in time, nobody really knows how things have been going for Miley out there all alone, but I like to think that she's working for some company underground, trying to make every cent she can to keep those loan sharks off her back. As for myself and the family, we never did end up having our chance to say goodbye to my brother one last time. But after things had really settled down and we were awarded a lot of money, we made sure to get him a really nice headstone for his grave and have another funeral where only the family was invited to get together and say goodbye to him.
Hey James, are you at home right now? I just really wanted to talk to you about something if you had a quick moment to chat with me. I was just curious because I kind of wanted to talk to you about how dirty the house has been lately. Do you think that you could do something about that, please?
What? You want me to clean up the house? I can't believe that you're seriously asking me to do that. I'm pretty sure that's more your job than it is mine. Why in the world do you think I would even do something like that in the first place when I have a wife like you around to do it for me?
Well, I'm really busy with work, so I don't have time to clean the house as well. You do know how busy I am, don't you?
Oh, and you think I'm not busy? I have a job too, you know. You're not the only one who does anything around, you know.
I know that, but you know that I just tend to be busier than you, right? And it's not like I don't ever clean the house. I always make an effort to do something when I have the time. But I don't think it's fair that I should be the one doing anything around here. And so if you have some time right now, I would really appreciate it if you could help clean the house as well. I mean, you are the one making a mess all the time. You leave your clothes on the floor, don't put away dishes, leave empty cups all over the house. So I don't mind if you're going to do that, but if you could help clean up after yourself, that would be really great.
What the heck are you talking about, Rachel? You're the wife, so cleaning up the house is your job. Duh. How dare you even ask me to clean up when you should be the one doing it? Don't you have any sense in that head of yours at all?
I'm not trying to make you do anything, James. I'm only asking that you help me a little out more. I mean, I accept that I'll probably end up doing most of it anyways, but it would be really nice if you help me.
I already told you that I'm too busy with work to have time for any of that. Honestly, you think I have time to do all the housekeeping and do my job? Don't be ridiculous. If you're gonna treat me like this, then maybe I should just go and tell my mom about the kinds of things that you're saying to me.
I get that you're busy with work, James. I really do. But I'm just saying that I'm busier and I bring home more money.
Oh, there we go. The truth finally comes out. I knew that this was all about it. I work my butt off and try so hard, and it's still not enough for you because I don't make enough money. Well, excuse me.
I'm not even trying to make this about money or anything. I'm just saying that you and I both work, and I'm the only one who helps out around here. So could you please just try tidying up a little now and then? I mean, I'm really kind of reaching the limits of patience with you, James. Besides, next week is my little brother's wedding, and I have so much I need to get ready before that happens. So I just don't have time to clean right now. So please, all I'm asking is for a little bit of help around the house. Is that really so much to ask for? You really have got some nerve, young woman. Do you even realize that? Honestly, I have no idea where you even get off. I mean, are you serious? Tracy, so lovely to hear from you. I'm sorry, but I really have no idea what this could be about. Would you care to fill me in? I heard that you were going to take time off work. Is that true? Are you really going to do something like that? Because I don't remember giving you any sort of permission to do anything like that. So just who do you think you are, huh? Permission? I'm sorry, but since when do I need permission from anyone to do something like this? It's my job and my time off that I earned. So if I want to take it, I am well within my rights too. You don't really get a say in any of it. What are you talking about? I'm your mother-in-law. You should know by now that you should always run these things by me before you just go and ask for time off. I mean, did you even check to make sure that you weren't taking time off on a day when you were supposed to be cleaning? There's a schedule for the housekeeping, and if you're not going to respect that, is even the point of having it? Besides, you know that the days when you're not cleaning the house are the days that you're supposed to be going to work and earning money for us. So don't you go talking to me as if you get to make up your schedule without worrying about what anyone else has to say about it. Tracy, I'm really sorry, but I have no idea what you're talking about at all. Do you really think you can tell me what to do? I mean, what is it that you're wanting from me? I want you to know that right now you're being an absolutely terrible daughter-in-law. How dare you take time off work without asking me first? You have no right to just laze about, especially not without my permission. Tracy, you're being completely unreasonable, and I really just don't think I could talk to you at all like this. But I would really like it if you quit trying to boss me around, because quite frankly, I don't care what you have to say. I'm taking time off my work, and that is that. It's already done, and I won't be changing anything. But I never gave you the permission to do that. You can't just leave work without asking me. Are you seriously still harping on about this? Besides, I know you're just taking time off of work to go back to your hometown. Isn't that right? Well, also, you forgot to ask me permission for that anyways. Are you talking about my little brother's wedding? Because if you think I'm missing that for anything, then you're dead wrong. Besides, I did invite James to come along with me, but he said he would rather have malaria than go to my brother's wedding. So anyways, I was going to just go by myself. Fine then, but if you're going to go to this wedding, then it means that on another day, you have to take James and I on vacation. Wait, what? Why? That doesn't even make any sense. If you can't do this for me, then you don't have permission to go to the wedding. Got it? Tracy, you're really not making any sense to me right now. But anyways, I'm going to take time off of work and I'm going to go to my brother's wedding, and that is all I have to say on the matter. I really don't even understand why my doing this is so upsetting you in the first place. It just doesn't make sense. Because you didn't ask me for permission for any of this beforehand. I've already told you. You need to think about the family before you go and just run off like this. I mean, how selfish can someone get? What exactly was I not thinking about before making any of these plans? I still don't get the point that you're trying to make. You really just don't get it at all, do you? I'm your mother-in-law and you're not allowed to do anything without my permission. And if you even think of trying to cross me, then it will be the end for you. Got it? Right. Well, I guess I will keep that in mind for future reference. Thank you. But anyways, like I've said, the plans are already in place. I've already gotten the time off and I'm going to my brother's wedding. So I understand that you might have some complaints about it, but that isn't going to change the fact that I'm going to go. Alright then, I see that you make your mind. But don't say that I didn't warn you. I really would just like you to leave me alone more than anything, Tracy. Anyways, I have to get back to work now, so bye, I guess. I can't believe it. I really thought that you would have woken up and found some sense beforehand, but you really did go to your brother's wedding. How in the world did my poor son end up with such a selfish, horrible woman? But that's okay, because as of today, you're finished, completely through. Hello again, Tracy. Just what in the world could you be talking about this time? Are you still under the impression that you can tell me how to live my life? Because I don't intend to just take order from you. I work a full-time job, I keep the house clean, I'm allowed to take some time for myself and my family now and then. I mean, I don't even understand the problem that you have with me taking time off just to go to my brother's wedding. How many times are you going to make me repeat myself, Rachel? I am upset because you did all of this without my permission first. There you go again, just ignoring what I'm completely saying and what I just said to you. Well, I don't care what else you have to say to me because as of now, you and James are no longer married. I decided that I don't need a daughter-in-law who isn't going to obey me like she should, and you taking time off of work was the last straw for me. Wait a second, are you telling me that you got James and I divorced? You can't really be serious about that, right? I am very serious. It's done and there's nothing you can do about it. I really just don't even know what to say to you. I mean, what is the matter with you? You really broke up your own son's marriage all because your daughter-in-law wouldn't become your slave and follow every word? I mean, me taking time off work, using my own PTO, really made you this upset? I don't even know what to think about that. I told you that I haven't given you my permission and yet you just went ahead and did it anyways. You don't have anyone to blame but yourself this time. I warned you over and over again that the only time you shouldn't be at work is when you're at home keeping the house clean. And now you're not at work or at home, so you really left me with no choice at all to do this. You must really be one of the most selfish women that I have ever met in my entire life. But I suppose since you've already gone and sent off the divorce papers, there is really nothing at all that can be done about it now. So whatever, fine. I give up on this whole thing anyways. There's no point in trying to talk sense into you anyways. That's right, there's nothing you can do about it. I've won and you've lost, and that's it. Mwahahaha. This is what you get for running off to your little brother's wedding and ignoring what your mother-in-law has to say to you. So you don't have to bother coming home at all since you don't have a house or a husband to come back to anymore. Alright then, if that's really what you want, then I won't be coming home. Good, and I never ever want to see your face again. Do you understand me? Oh, don't worry, you won't. This honestly couldn't have happened sooner. If you really want to know how I feel about it, I'll just come over tomorrow to collect my things, and then I'll be out of yours and James' lives forever. Although I'm sure that the two of you are going to have some big change that you'll need to get used to me without there. So good luck with that. Oh, please. The only things that's going to change once you're gone is how much better our lives are finally going to be. I don't need anyone but my son, and I certainly don't need some useless woman like you hanging around and dragging him down. So you're really sure that you want to do this then? I mean, you do know that James only brings up about $600 a month, don't you? Wait, what? What do you mean? That can't be right. Anyways, I guess I need to go and call some moving companies to help me get all my things from the house. But I guess I really have to thank you for finally freeing me from that dead weight that was hanging around my neck. Rachel, are you there? Please, you have to pick up the phone. I really need to talk to you. This is an emergency. Please, pick up. I don't have anything to say to you, Tracy. Not only that, but I'm at work right now and can't talk on the phone anyway. So just what is it? What could you possibly want from me now? And don't bother calling again because I won't pick up. If you want to talk to me, you can text me. Okay then, I'll just cut straight to the point. Do you think you could come and move back in with me and James, please? Wait, what? You can't actually be serious about that, right? I know that you didn't just ask me that. I realized that I may have made a few mistakes in the past. And anyways, I realized that I said some things that were wrong, and I was just hoping that you would come back here to live with us. We can just let all that bad blood that we used to have between be water under the bridge and not worry about that anymore, okay? So please come back to us? Yeah, that is going to be a very strong no from me. Thank you for the invite, though. Wait, what? What do you mean no? How can you be rejecting this? I said please. I'm saying no because I know that the only reason you want me to move back in with you both is because you're probably really behind on bills, isn't it? But if you think that I'm going to go back just because of your personal piggy bank, you have got another thing coming. Because I want nothing to do with you ever again. I have no idea what you might be talking about at all, Rachel. No, actually, that would be... I'm the one who has no idea what you're talking about. I mean, you were the one that forged divorce papers and broke up James and I's wedding. So I have no idea what you're thinking begging me to come back to you. You're nothing to me now. You're not my mother-in-law, and you're certainly not something who I feel like I owe anything to. You told me that you never even wanted to see my face again, remember? But I didn't really mean that. I just made a mistake. But I hereby formally give you permission to come back home. Now you'll come back, won't you? I never used to give two hoots about your permission, and I certainly don't care at all about them now. But you're not going to get a single penny from me, got it? This is a problem for you and James to figure out, and I want nothing to do with it. But wait, you can't just leave us like this. I mean, you know that we don't have any money to take care of ourselves. And just whose fault is that for kicking me out of the house in the first place? You're trying to say that this is all my fault, but that isn't true. I mean, I didn't even do anything to you. Yes, you did. You got James and I divorced and you kicked me out of the house. This is all your fault, and you need to accept that and the fact that I'm not going to help you. But I really didn't know that James made so little money. I mean, after you told me that, I asked him about it because I thought you were just trying to scare me, but then he said it was true. Then I told him that I submitted divorce papers for the two of you, and he totally freaked out on me. He's really scary all the time, and I can't just live with this. Well, that sounds to me like you are a problem, really. Please, I had no idea that you were actually paying for everything in the house this whole time. I thought it was James giving me spending money the whole time, but it was really coming from you. That's right, and it's been like that the whole time, but you just had no idea, and I doubt you would have believed it if I tried to convince you otherwise. But how could I ever guess something like that? That was really true. I would have no way of knowing. I tried to explain to you before actually, multiple times in fact. But every time I did, you just called me a jealous liar. But the fact that your son barely makes any money at all and you never bothered to ask him about it until it was too late. I didn't hide anything from you at all. You were just too dumb to do your homework before you went and kicked me out. But that isn't fair. How was I even supposed to know that was something I should have looked into in the first place? And it still doesn't change the fact that we don't have any money for ourselves. Well, I don't know what you want me to do about it. I already told you that you aren't going to get a cent from me. So don't bother asking. You were more than happy to live off my salary and use me to keep the house clean. And all the time, I never once got a word of gratitude. But I'm telling you that I had no idea about what the circumstances really were. And just whose fault is that? I thought that you were working so hard at cleaning the house because you knew that you didn't make enough money to be able to say anything against it. I really did think that James made more than you and that you were trying to get him to clean the house for you on top of that. Well, now you know that it was the exact opposite, not that it's going to change anything for you, you know? In fact, James doesn't even have a full-time job. He just works part-time anyways. Wait, what? Is that really true? That's right. So the fact that he's even making that much money is honestly a miracle given how few hours he works. Anyways, I don't really see the point in carrying on this conversation any further. I've told you all that you need to know. And nothing you say is ever going to make me change my mind in a million years. So you and James can have a good time figuring this out amongst yourself. Just leave me out of it. After that, I heard that the bills continued to pile up for Tracy and James, and that soon they couldn't even afford to make payments on the house anymore and they were kicked out. James was still furious at his mom and blamed what was happening all on her. He even stole what little money she had in her savings and ran off. Tracy had no choice but to go back to her hometown and beg her relatives to let her live with them. Except it was while Tracy was staying with her relatives that they learned that James had taken out some huge loans in her name before he ran off and disappeared. So not only did Tracy have every last penny stolen from her by her son, but he even took money from her that she didn't even have. I heard that when Tracy realized how she had been betrayed by her son and just how little James actually cared for her, that she fell into a deep depression and hardly even left the house. The debt problem was eventually cleared up because of the fraudulent nature of it. But even so, I don't think the damage it did to Tracy's heart ever recovered. As for James, I have no idea where he is right now. He fell off the map and is wanted for identity theft in connection to what he did to his mom. But whether he's been caught or is still on the run, whether he settled down and found a real job or is still a bum leeching of others, I just really have no clue at all. All I do know is that I'm glad to get rid of both of them and get on with my life without them. It was somewhat hard adjusting to being single after I went to my brother's wedding, but I talked to my family and they agreed to let me stay with them a while until I searched for a new place to live in. When I found one, I thanked my family and moved out. Now I'm able to concentrate on my work and on myself without people in my life expecting me to do everything for them.
Were you at home all day long today?
I was. Is that a problem? Why are you asking me this anyway?
When are you gonna get yourself a job? You can't just lie around at home all the time. Don't you feel guilty for the fact that I'm the one paying for all your living expenses?
What are you talking about?
I'm saying that you should get a job and start earning your own money. You can't just live on my couch forever. I'm getting sick and tired of you wasting your time like this. I thought that if you were gonna spend all your time at home, you'd at least take care of all the housework, but you don't even get that done. What's wrong with you? What are you gonna do if I kick you out of the house? Where would you live?
What the hell are you talking about? I work, you idiot. I've been working from home before we got married. And I'm still doing the same job.
You told me that before, but what does working from home mean anyway? Doesn't that just mean that you're unemployed? Do you think that you're a security guard protecting our house or something?
You're not making any sense to me right now. And no, I don't consider myself to be a security guard. Besides, we don't have anything valuable in our house.
What do you mean by that? I have a lot of things at home that are valuable to me. Don't talk about my house that way. You should be grateful that I'm letting you live with me. I commute to work every day, which means that you're using up all the electricity, gas, and water at home.
I may be using more electricity, gas, and water than you, but how is that relevant?
Don't you think it's unfair that I'm paying the utility costs?
What are you saying? You're being ridiculous.
I mean it when I say that I'll kick you out of here if you don't get a job.
Can you calm down, Sean? You're completely delirious. How are you going to pay the rent if you kick me out of the house? Do you really understand the position you're putting yourself into?
If you move out, I'll have a richer life, because then I wouldn't have to continue paying for all your living expenses. And I won't need to be demotivated by the fact that you're lazing around on my couch. I won't need to put up with all your mood swings either. It'd be great for me. I'd be thrilled if you decided to move out.
Do you hear yourself? You're being totally crazy. Didn't you hear me when I said that I'm employed and that I've been doing the same job for many years now? There are lots of people like me that work from home. I'm a full-time employee, you know. My company gives me the liberty to work from home. I'm also enrolled in social insurance. I mean, you're the one that's financially dependent on me, so how can you act so bossy around me?
What the hell are you talking about? You're not making any sense to me either.
I'm not surprised that you don't seem to get it. You only seem to see things the way that you want to see it. You're in complete denial. That's why I take care of the things that you're not good at, and I never complained. I supported you when you said that you're going to quit your job and start your own business. You failed miserably, but I never blamed you for any of it. And now you're just a part-timer.
Don't make it sound like I have a pathetic job. I'm simply a contracted employee who works flexible hours, yeah. And I plan on becoming a full-time employee soon. I'm not gonna let you put me down like this.
I'm not putting you down. I'm simply stating the facts. If you're gonna pressure me to work harder, you should do the same. I work longer hours than you, so I don't understand why you seem to think that I need to do all the housework on my own. If you're going to help out around the house more, I might be able to get a better job, and I wouldn't mind commuting to work either. As long as I have a computer, I can get my work done from anywhere.
I don't think we're on the same page here. We want different things in life. I want a divorce.
What the hell, Sean? Where is this coming from?
I said I want a divorce. Didn't you get it the first time around? I don't want to spend any more money on you. I want you to move out of my house. You're not cooperative, and you make me do all the work. I should have married someone more considerate than you.
How could you say such terrible things to me? You have no idea how hard I work to keep you happy.
Do you really believe that? Because I always felt that it was the other way around. I commute to work every day and work really hard, and you stay at home all the time pretending to be someone important when you're not. It's my house, and you should treat me with more respect.
Your name may be on the documents, but that's all.
What's your point? Either way, I don't want to do this anymore. I'm leaving you. If you're willing to work harder, though, I may be able to reconsider my decision. Although I doubt that there's anyone out there that's willing to hire you.
I'd like to say the same thing right back at you.
Shut up! You don't even know what you're talking about! This is the end of our conversation. You know how I feel, so if you want me to not leave you, you better work for it.
Whatever, Sean. You only earn $1,000 a month. Shouldn't you be more worried about me leaving you? If I were you, I wouldn't make stupid threats against me. If you're going to act all self-righteous, I suggest you start earning more. If you apologize to me right now, I'm willing to forgive you. Actually, it'll depend on whether or not your apology is sincere or not.
It's your condescending behavior which really irritates me. I don't want to spend another minute being controlled by an unattractive woman like you. I'd rather leave you and remarry someone younger and more appreciative of me.
I see. So you're cheating on me then. That's why you want to kick me out of the house? That's so like you.
Why do you even care? I know that you don't love me anymore either. Look, I may not be making much money right now, but I was able to get a mortgage on this house when I was employed by my previous company, and if I spend wisely, I'll have no issues paying off my current salary. If you move out, I won't have to pay such a high amount for utility costs. If you're not going to contribute to the household, I want you to pack your things up and move out.
It'll only take a second for you to realize that you're making a big mistake by kicking me out. But I guess you're really sick of me then.
I am. Can't wait for you to move out.
You're so stupid that it makes me laugh. You're the only one that seems to think that I'm some unemployed loser. You clearly don't get it. You never do. And you have the audacity to cheat on me too. You're a clueless fool. Your lover may be young and pretty now, but looks fade. You're such a piece of shit. I can't believe I chose to marry you. I'm such an idiot.
Yes, you are. I'm the one who's saying all the right things here. You're the one that's making up all these lies about us when all you're doing is living off my hard-earned money. Who do you think is putting food on the table, you ungrateful bitch? I don't know why I even married you. It was the biggest mistake of my life.
Okay then, I get it now. You really do want a divorce, so I'll give in.
Really? You do that for me?
And I'll move out tonight after I finish work. Could you spend the night with your lover? I want the house to myself tonight. You won't need to see me anymore.
Why do you keep on pretending that you have a job? You can be honest about being unemployed now that we're getting divorced. But I'm glad that you didn't put up a fight. Well, it was nice knowing you, and good luck with your life.
Good luck to you too. I'm going to move out of the house like you asked me to, but I'm going to ask you to pay alimony for having an affair.
What the hell?
Today is the last time you'll be in touch with me. From the next time, we'll be communicating through my divorce lawyer. A divorce lawyer's not cheap, but I'd rather pay the money if it means that I don't have to deal with you directly. And my lawyer's really good. She's not going to let you get away without paying me any alimony.
Do you really need to involve a lawyer? Can't we settle this amicably? Besides, I don't think that you have the money to hire a lawyer. Shouldn't you use the money to find yourself a new place to live?
You don't have to worry about my finances. Now that I no longer have to aid you financially, I'll be just fine.
What are you talking about?
I'm saying that I'm not going to be giving you any more of my money. Since you own our house, you'll need to start paying the mortgage in full after I move out. But I think you should get a new job because the mortgage payment plus utility costs will exceed your current salary. I guess that's not my problem, though.
I don't understand. What is this about?
You'll understand what I'm talking about after I move out. You wait and see. Goodbye, Sean. My divorce lawyer will be getting in touch with you soon. Say hello to your lover for me.
I got a notice saying that I didn't have enough funds to pay this month's rent. What the hell is going on here?
How is this my concern? It's your house after all. If you had put in enough money into your bank account, you wouldn't have had any problems in paying the rent. Why are you contacting me for something so trivial? I'm sure you could have figured this out on your own.
That is not why I messaged you. Did you steal money from me? It just doesn't make any sense.
Why in the world would I do such a thing? I have plenty of money on my own.
I had no issue paying rent up until now, until the minute that you moved out. There's an issue with my bank balance. Something fishy is going on here. I'm sure of it.
Don't you get it?
Get what?
First of all, I didn't steal any of your money, so you can calm down now. I mean, you don't make that much money. I wouldn't risk everything to steal such a small amount.
Are you saying that I'm not making enough money?
I was putting in $3,500 into your account monthly so that you could pay your mortgage. But now that I moved out, I stopped making those payments to you, so that's why there isn't enough money in your bank account. Do you finally understand how I've been supporting you all these years?
So you're saying that I don't make enough money to pay the mortgage on my own?
That's exactly what I'm saying. You only make $1,000 a month. And I knew that you'd try to blame this all on me again. You never want to take any responsibility for anything. How clueless are you? You need to grow up. I'm not going to take care of you anymore like before. We're divorced, remember? Why would you even think that $1,000 a month was enough money to pay the mortgage? You have no common sense.
I don't spend that much money, so I figured that my salary was enough to pay the mortgage.
I'm the one that paid for our food, and I prepared the meals too. And on top of that, I was paying you $3,500 a month. I was doing more than enough for you. You just never realized or appreciated my help. I mean, who do you think was paying for the car and insurance? You made me do everything, which is why you were completely oblivious to how much we were spending on everything.
I had no idea how much those things were costing us. I'm a little shocked to say the least. What am I supposed to do now? What happens if I can't pay the mortgage?
Why don't you ask your parents for help? You're not my problem anymore, Sean. Your parents are well off. I'm sure they'd be willing to help you out with your money problems.
I can't ask my parents for help. That'd be too embarrassing.
Well, who else are you going to ask? Just be honest with them about your current employment situation and marital status.
There's no way in hell that I'll be able to tell my parents about this. My parents think that I run a successful business. They'd be devastated if they knew that I'd failed and can't even pay my own mortgage.
Well, I think it's about time you told your parents the truth. They deserve to know. And you're the one that put me down all this time when I was the one who was supporting you. This is totally your own fault, and you need to do something about it on your own. Don't come crying to me for help. You seem to think that you were the one taking care of me, but actually it was the other way around. You're a real joke.
How did this happen to me? You barely work. How did you come up with all that money each month?
I'm a systems engineer and I make good money. I can do my job anywhere as long as I have a computer, which is probably why you thought that I was unemployed.
I still don't get it. None of this makes any sense to me.
I suppose I don't know why I ever married you. It was the biggest mistake in my life. I'm glad that I got out when I did. I'm so over you. Have a nice life without me. I'm sure that you regret not taking better care of me when you had the chance. Well, it's too late now because we're officially divorced now. I'm going now.
Hold on a minute. You're gonna let me suffer by myself? Are you that cruel?
Well, you weren't very nice to me either, remember? And you cheated on me. You don't deserve my pity. Go crying to your beautiful young lover. But I'm sure that when she finds out what a loser you are, she's going to find herself a new lover. That's how young women usually are.
Melanie, I'm so sorry. I realize now how wrong I was. Please, just don't abandon me like this. I don't know what I'm gonna do about my mortgage payments. I need you.
You're an adult. I'm sure you'll figure it all out. Get a new job which pays you better. I'm so glad that we got divorced. I'm so excited to start my new life without you. Goodbye, loser. Sean tried to get Melanie to forgive him, but Melanie had no intention of helping him anymore. She'd had enough. Sean couldn't afford to pay the mortgage, and he asked his lover to chip in, but she left him after she found out that he was poor. He had no choice but to ask his parents for help, but then they told him to sell the house if he couldn't afford it. They didn't allow him to move back in with them, though, so he was completely on his own. So he ended up being homeless and lived a life of despair. Melanie wanted nothing more to do with Sean and completely cut all ties with him. Melanie continues to work hard and has a very successful career. She's very happy with her decision to divorce Sean and is now living a wonderful life on her own.
Brad, have you prepared everything for the move?
What? What do you mean by that?
What do you mean, what? You need to get ready for the move before your university entrance ceremony. You've rented that apartment near the university, right? It's a nice place and we've already paid for it. You need to finish packing and get everything ready to go. I can't do it for you, Brad. It's your responsibility now. So if you haven't already, start making those cardboard boxes up and throwing all the things you need into them to take.
Ugh, seriously? What makes you think you can lecture me like that? Got no right to talk to me like that.
Brad, what is going on with you? You've been acting so distant lately. Well, I can still help out if you need it. I don't mind lending a hand with the move, you know. I'm happy to do it for you.
No, just leave me alone. I don't need your help.
What do you mean, leave you alone? I'm your mom. You're about to go to university. This is a big moment for you. Why wouldn't I help?
I told you already. Don't come near the new house. Stay out of my life.
Wait, what? Why would you say that? I'm just trying to help, Brad. I want to make this transition as easy as possible for you.
I said don't come. It's my house now. You're not allowed to be involved. Just stay away.
Wow, didn't expect you to say that. I know you're going through a lot, but to hear you talk like that is really hurtful. Are you sure you don't want me to help in any way?
You're acting like I'm some kind of burden. Seriously, being ridiculous.
I'm not saying that at all, Brad, but it seems like there's something deeper bothering you. I can't help if you don't open up to me. What is going on? Why do you keep pushing me away like this?
Can't you get it? I'm a student at the best medical school in the country. The hardest one to get into. Do you even understand how difficult that is? Did it on my own with no special treatment. I made it in. I'm going to be a doctor. I'm going to achieve something big, something you could never understand.
I understand. I know how hard it is to get into a school like that, and I am proud of you, Brad. You've worked so hard. I just want you to know that I'm here for you no matter what.
Yeah, you should be proud of me. Going to be an elite doctor, the kind of person who's going places. You have no idea what it's like to be someone who's successful. I've worked my whole life for this, and it's finally happening.
Well, that's wonderful, Brad. I'm really happy for you. You deserve it, but still, why are you acting like this towards me?
And look at you. You're nothing. You're just a high school dropout who hasn't achieved anything. You don't even have a real education. I don't even know why you're still in my life. You're nothing but a burden.
Wait, what? What are you saying, Brad? I've been there for you since you were a child. I may not have had the same opportunities as you, but I've always done my best to help you and give you everything I could. How could you say that?
It's the truth. You're a failure, and I can't even believe that I'm related to you. Frankly, I'm embarrassed. I'm embarrassed that you've been part of my life.
This isn't fair. You think I've been a failure? Just because I didn't go to university doesn't mean I'm worthless. I worked hard every day to support you. I've given everything I could to raise you, and now you're turning your back on me?
Maybe I wouldn't mind if it was just the way that it was, but no, you're not just a mother figure. You're a fake. You weren't even my real mother. Dad and I decided that once I got into university, we'd tell you. We figured you'd accept the truth, but this whole thing, this is way worse than I thought.
I know that I'm not your biological mother, Brad, but that doesn't mean I didn't love you like my own. From the moment I met you, I took care of you, I raised you. I've been there every step of the way. How can you say that to me now? After everything?
Yeah, I accepted it. I finally realized that you're not even my real mom. I'm Dad's kid, but I'm not your kid, and I'll never be your kid. That's the truth, and I'm telling you now.
No, Brad, I raised you. I took care of you when you couldn't even walk. I gave up so much for you. I never expected to hear you say this.
Well, maybe you were good for that when I was little, but now that I'm older, I don't need you anymore. I'm going to live my life with Dad, and we'll be just fine. We'll be just the two of us. You're just a high school dropout. You're not part of this family anymore. Don't even think about coming to my entrance ceremony. I don't want you there. You don't belong there.
What? No, Brad, please don't say that. I've been waiting for this moment. I've been looking forward to seeing you walk into that ceremony, to see you dressed up, to see you finally achieve something great. How can you take this away from me?
What are you, stupid? You really don't get it, do you? The entrance ceremony is going to be full of elite people. Doctors, lawyers, rich families. What do you think will happen if they find out that my mom is a high school dropout? How am I supposed to show my face? It's embarrassing. It'll ruin everything.
Brad, that's too much. I've supported you your whole life. I've been there for you through thick and thin, and now you're treating me like this?
What do you want me to say? You're just some nobody who raised me. I'm going to be surrounded by elites. You really think I want them to know about you? No, I don't need you at that ceremony. Don't even think about coming. If you show up, I'll make sure you regret it.
I don't deserve this. I've done everything I could. I raised you as my own, and this is how you repay me?
Stop acting like I owe you something. You're a nobody. You don't even belong in this world. You've never been on my level. Now that I don't need you anymore, you're out of my life. You're disposable. It's as simple as that. Stay away from me. Stay away from my life. Got it?
Rebecca, I'll be back from work soon. Is there anything you need? I can stop by the store on my way back.
Well, not really. There's nothing specific I need today.
How about Brad? Is he getting everything ready for the move? I'm sure he's got a lot to do.
Yeah, I think so. Maybe. I guess he's sort of ready. I'm not sure exactly, but I'm sure he's got it covered.
But, after everything that's happened, it really feels like we're finally becoming a family. I know it might sound strange, but it feels different now, in a good way.
Family? What do you mean family? What's going on?
Well, I was finally able to tell him everything I've been hiding from him for so long. I was really worried about how he'd react, but thankfully, he took it really well. He accepted everything without a problem, which was a huge relief for me.
Oh, I see. So you finally told him what you've been holding back for all this time? That's great.
Yes, exactly. And Brad, he really understood, which was a huge weight off my shoulders. We've been through a lot, but now it feels like we can move forward.
So, do you think now's the right time to tell him about the other thing? The one thing we've been avoiding?
What do you mean? Oh, you mean that thing. Well, I don't really think we need to talk about it right now. It doesn't seem that important. Brad doesn't need to know about it. It's not going to change anything.
But don't you think it would be good for him to know? We are family now, aren't we? Don't we need to be open and honest with each other, especially when it comes to important things? I think he deserves to know, don't you?
Look, it's not that I don't agree with you. It's just, sometimes some things are better left unsaid, don't you think? I just don't want it to add any more unnecessary stress, especially after everything we've already been through.
I understand where you're coming from, but I feel like we need to trust each other completely. We're supposed to be a team, right? We've always supported each other, and I think it's time we trust Brad with everything, even the things that might be hard to hear.
You're right. We are family. and you've been here for me through everything. Even though you've had your own struggles, you've worked so hard to make sure everything's okay for both of us. I can't tell you how much I appreciate it.
It hasn't been easy, but having you here has made all the difference. I feel so much better knowing we're in this together.
And you know what? Even with everything that's happened, I'm just happy we're finally starting to build something together. It feels like we're finally on the right path.
I'm really glad you feel that way, because I've been thinking about something too. I've been considering going with you to Brad's entrance ceremony. I know it's important to him, and I don't want to miss it. I want to be there to support him, but there's only one thing that's been on my mind lately.
What do you mean? Is something wrong? Did something come up?
No, it's not that. It's just Brad told me that he didn't want me to come to the ceremony.
Wait, what? Why? Is it because we're not related by blood?
Well, yeah, that's part of it. But I think it's also because of his feelings about my education. You know how he feels about that kind of thing.
I can't believe he would say that. That is really unfair. I'm going to have a serious talk with him. He doesn't understand how important this is.
No, don't. It's not like that. I don't want you to get involved. I just need you to understand what I'm feeling. It's been hard, but I don't want this to come between us. I just need some time to figure things out. I know this is important to Brad, but I don't think it's the right time for me to go. I just don't want to make things harder than they already are.
But you've always been there for me, and I'm not going to let anything come between us, especially not now.
I know, and I'm so grateful for that. It's just sometimes I feel like I'm not really a part of this family, you know? Like I don't fit in because of all the things that have happened.
I understand, but we're in this together now, no matter what. You're part of this family. We'll get through this, okay?
I hope so. I really do. Brad, regarding the entrance ceremony, do you still think I shouldn't go? I really want to see your big day.
I told you, no way. My entrance ceremony is a sacred event, okay? It's not a place for someone like you who barely finished middle school to step foot into.
When you were still little, Frank and I got married. You are my child. We've been together since you were young. Please, don't say I'm just a stranger to you.
Don't joke around. Are you trying to leech off me like this?
Leech? What do you mean by that?
You're planning on taking my earnings from being a doctor and living a comfortable life, right? You really think I'll let you do that?
Why do you hate me so much? Is it because we're not blood related? Because I didn't tell you sooner?
No, it's not just that. I hate you and your useless family.
Useless? Are you talking about me being a middle school dropout?
Of course. This world runs because of the elites. You lower class people are only living off of the success of the elites.
Don't talk like that. I've been doing my best in my own way, too.
No matter how hard a lower class person tries, they can never reach an elite. The one who raised me and took care of everything was my father.
But I worked, too. I earned money.
That's just pocket change. It doesn't matter whether it's there or not. And you should divorce Frank. Get out of my family.
Wait just a minute. I'll admit, I can understand that you hate me. I get that you don't want me at the entrance ceremony. But why do I have to divorce Frank? Why are you demanding that?
It's because of you. You've been living off his money for so long, and now you want more. And I've decided that I'm going to marry the daughter of a CEO or from an elite family. If they find out my mother is a middle school dropout, the engagement might be off. That's why I'm telling you to divorce him.
Fine. I have put up with so much for your sake. I thought I could do anything for you. But I can't take it anymore. I won't put up with this anymore.
So it's settled. You're not coming to the entrance ceremony, right?
Yes.
Good. That's fine with me.
I don't care what happens from here on out.
So, the entrance ceremony is starting now. You didn't just show up at the school on your own, right?
I haven't done anything like that. I'm at home right now. Do you want me to send you a photo for proof?
Really? I don't need that. I'll be coming home once in a while, so when I do, you better serve me properly. Keep my room clean too. I'll let the divorce slide, but you should at least do that much for me.
Well, I'll do what I can, I guess.
Fine, I'll send you a picture of the ceremony. I'll show you what an elite entrance ceremony looks like.
I don't need any of that.
Oh, is that so? Well, whatever. Take care. Hey, what the hell is going on here?
What? What's wrong now?
I couldn't attend the entrance ceremony. I went to the office and asked them what happened, and they told me that my admission was canceled.
Oh, I see. Well, that's unfortunate.
Don't pretend you don't know what's going on. They said it was because the entrance fee wasn't paid. I bet you're the one behind this. You've always been the one handling all the family finances. What are you going to do about this?
Well, yes, I didn't pay the fee, but why are you getting so upset over this?
Of course I'm upset. The money that was supposed to be used for my entrance fee came from Dad's hard work. And you didn't use it for that, did you? You probably took it and used it for your own purposes. Don't think I don't know.
I think you're misunderstanding the situation here.
What are you talking about? What's the misunderstanding?
The truth is, I'm the one who earned the money for your entrance fee.
What? What are you saying? That entrance fee was $20,000. There's no way you, a high school dropout, could have earned that much money.
Yes, I'm a high school dropout, but I've been working since I was very young and have had a lot of experiences. I taught myself Chinese, and now I can speak it fluently. I've used that skill, along with my work experience, to become the top sales performer at my company. I earn more money than a lot of university graduates.
Wait, really? I never knew any of this.
We had an agreement with Frank that we wouldn't discuss work-related matters at home. That's why I never mentioned anything about my job to you before.
But still, Dad earns money too. He went to a prestigious university. There's no reason for you to pay for my entrance fee. You should have asked him, not spent your own money.
Well, the thing is, Frank's company has been struggling for years. He's had his salary reduced year after year, and because of that, it was impossible for him to pay for your entrance fee.
You've got to be kidding me. That doesn't make sense. Dad graduated from a famous university. He's an elite. There's no way you're telling the truth. You're lying.
I'm not lying. I really wish I were, but this is the truth. Things have been difficult for a long time now.
Enough with the lies. I'm going to tell Dad everything. He's been waiting for today's entrance ceremony, and you've ruined it. After this, you're going to be kicked out of the house. You better start packing your things, because you're not going to have a place here anymore.
I don't think that's going to happen, though.
What do you mean? Don't you see how serious this is? You've ruined everything, and now I'm going to have to deal with it. Don't you dare come near me again.
I don't think you fully understand the situation here. I don't think Frank will get so upset. It's not like it's the end of the world. I think you're overreacting.
Overreacting? Are you kidding me right now? Do you realize the mess you've caused? How do you expect me to just accept this?
I'm not asking you to accept it. I'm just saying that we're doing the best we can under the circumstances. I never wanted to ruin anything for you, and I've been doing my best. But things didn't work out the way we planned. That's just the reality of it.
But this is a big deal. You've ruined my chances of going to college. Do you even understand what that means? This is something I've worked hard for, and you've taken that away from me. Dad, my enrollment got canceled.
I see.
Do you understand why? They said the tuition fee wasn't paid. Mom took the money that was supposed to be for my tuition and used it for herself. This is the worst. You can't just let this slide, can you? How can you forgive her for something like this?
But that money was your mother's.
Huh? Is that really true?
It's true. When you told me that you were going to become a doctor and go to medical school, I was already struggling with money. It was hard to admit, but I thought about it seriously. I almost told you to give up on medical school. I thought it was impossible, but at that time, your mother said she would take care of it herself. She said she would handle everything with her own earnings, and she would make sure all your living expenses after entering school were covered. She told me that she would fully support you. She offered to help with everything, and I reluctantly agreed to let her take the lead in supporting you.
But in the end, she didn't pay the tuition. I'm sure this was her plan all along. She made me study, got me into school, and then pulled this cruel trick not paying the tuition just to mess with me. She's been manipulating me the whole time.
Why would Rebecca do something like that?
She couldn't accept it. The thought that I, who was just a high school graduate, would become an elite doctor. She couldn't bear the idea that I'd succeed. She's just a high school dropout herself, and she couldn't stand the idea of me becoming more successful than her.
That's not it. You've misunderstood.
How can you say that?
Your mother never wanted to hinder you. She went through a hard time herself. You know that her father's business failed, and because of that, she couldn't go to high school. She never wanted that kind of hardship for you. That's why, when you said you wanted to go to university, she said she would support you fully. She said she would take care of the tuition and the cram school fees. She paid $700 a month for the tutoring, and she even covered $2,000 for the summer course. She made those sacrifices to ensure that you had the best chance of succeeding. How could she be trying to sabotage you when she was making all these efforts for you?
But it still happened.
That's because you pushed Rebecca away. You called her a high school dropout and treated her like she wasn't even part of this family. You disrespected her so much. That's why she didn't pay the tuition. It's not that she didn't want to, it's because you shut her out.
Dad knew about this?
Of course I knew. I'm not blind, you know. I know everything, and you also insulted her by calling her a parasite. Do you really think I could stand by and let you treat your own mother like that? I've had enough of your disrespect and arrogance. I told you not to show your face in front of your mother, but I've had it. I don't want to see you anymore. In fact, I don't want you coming back to this house again either.
But you don't understand. You're not listening to me. You don't know what it's like to be in my shoes. You don't know how hard I worked for this. Mom just took everything from me without any regard for what I wanted. I studied so hard. I passed the exams, and all I wanted was to succeed. Now I'm just thrown away because of this. She took everything away, and now there's nothing left for me.
You think I don't understand? You think I don't know what it's like to struggle? You think I don't know what it's like to sacrifice everything for your future? I worked hard too, you know. And Rebecca, your mother, didn't just take things from you. She gave you everything she had to make sure you had the best chance possible. She went through all of this to support you because she wanted you to succeed. But you were too proud to see that. You turned your back on her, and now you're blaming her for everything that's gone wrong.
That's not what's going on here. It's not the same. You don't understand what I went through. You think it's all just about money in school, but it's about more than that. I put in the effort. I was dedicated. Now everything is ruined because of her.
It's not ruined because of her. It's ruined because of you. You pushed her away. You disrespected her, and now you're blaming her for your own failure. Do you really think that's fair?
I don't care anymore. I don't need your advice. I don't need anyone's help. I'm done with all of you. You've all ruined my future, and there's nothing I can do about it anymore.
You've made your choice, and I've made mine. If you really want to throw everything away, then that's on you. But just know this, I'm done with you. You're not welcome here anymore.
Damn it, I've lost contact with Dad.
Frank was really angry, so it can't be helped.
I can't believe you were paying for things like the entrance fees and everything else.
I didn't actually pay the entrance fees. In the end, it wasn't me.
So that was your plan all along, huh?
It wasn't a plan. You said I was just a stranger to you. It's strange to pay the entrance fees for a stranger, don't you think?
So, what are you going to do now? Dad said he doesn't want you coming back to the family home.
Yeah, we discussed this, and we decided to cut ties with you. Of course I'm not going back to the family home, and don't contact me anymore. Even if you do, we'll just ignore you.
So, you're serious about this, huh?
Yes, I am. Isn't this what you wanted?
I didn't want to be cut off from Dad.
But Frank decided he couldn't accept you after you rejected me.
Yeah, looks like it. In the end, Dad chose you instead of me. So what? I don't have a family anymore. That's all there is to it.
Yeah, that's about all there is to it.
From now on, I'll make it on my own as an elite. Don't come crying to me later.
Oh, right. Your entrance to the university was canceled, wasn't it?
It's fine. I'll just take the entrance exam again next year. And this time, I'll pass. I've already passed once, so it's easy. A 1-year delay? People like me, elites, can easily make up for that.
Is that so? Quite the confident statement.
You all better not get involved with me from now on. I'll climb up on my own.
Of course, I promise we won't interfere with you.
Well, see ya.
But there's one thing I want to ask you.
What is it?
Just because you passed this time doesn't mean you'll pass the same university again, right? The same problems won't come up?
Of course, the difficulty is the same, so if I keep studying, I'll pass again next year.
I see, but that sounds tough, huh? Continuing to study for a whole year?
It's not tough at all. I've been doing it all along, you know. What have you been watching?
But it's different from before, isn't it? Now you'll have to pay for your living expenses. You'll have to earn that, do the housework properly, and study, right? I think that's going to be really tough, especially since you've always relied on me until now.
Living expenses? What do you mean by that?
Well, I already paid for the initial cost of the rent, so you don't have to worry about that. But from now on, you'll have to pay for your own rent and utilities.
I have to?
Yes, you'll need to work part-time, manage your living, and still study. Oh, and don't forget about the $20,000 entrance fee. Seems like it's going to be hard for someone with only a middle school education to earn that. Do you think someone like you with just a high school diploma can save that much money in 1 year?
Well, just for 1 year, I was thinking maybe you could help me out.
Are you asking for help when we're not even family anymore? How strange.
No, but we're family, right?
When it's convenient for you, you want to consider me family? Stop that. Family isn't something you can just treat so lightly.
Well, I'm going to become a doctor, and I'll repay my mom for everything.
Mom? You mean the person who abandoned you? I'm not your mother. I'm Frank's wife, not your mother, and I don't think you're suited to be a doctor either.
What do you mean?
Because I wouldn't want to entrust my life to someone who judges people based on their titles like elite or middle school graduate. I want a doctor who treats everyone equally, no matter who they are. That's why I don't want you to become a doctor.
How was Brad?
He seemed really down. Looks like he finally realized how tough things are going to get from here on out.
I'm sorry. You've sacrificed so much for him up until now.
It's fine. I did it for the family. I have no regrets. I don't even regret the decision to separate from Brad because I have you now.
Yeah, I feel the same way.
Now that we've saved the $20,000 for the entrance fee, how about we take a trip abroad soon?
Yeah, let's do that.
After Brad had his university entrance canceled, he decided to begin living on his own. The decision to live independently was a significant turning point in his life, one that marked the beginning of a new chapter, but also a difficult and overwhelming one. Until that point, Brad had always relied on the support of his parents, never truly understanding what it meant to live independently. The idea of moving out and taking care of everything on his own seemed like an exciting opportunity to grow and become more responsible. But the reality of the situation turned out to be much more challenging than he had anticipated. Initially, Brad felt a sense of freedom when he moved out. No more rules from his parents, no more restrictions on what he could or couldn't do. He felt like an adult who could finally take charge of his own life. However, as time went on, the challenges of living alone began to weigh on him. The first thing that hit him was the overwhelming responsibility of managing all his expenses. Living at home, he had never had to worry about rent, utility bills, or grocery shopping. Now he found himself facing these everyday tasks head-on. The pressure was overwhelming, and he quickly realized that he was not as prepared as he thought he was. Brad tried to manage his finances as best he could. To make ends meet, he got a part-time job. The job helped him cover some of the basics, such as food and transportation, but it was far from enough. Rent was a constant worry, and every month he had to scramble to figure out how to pay for it. The job was physically exhausting and took up a lot of time, leaving him little energy to focus on his studies. Despite his best efforts, he couldn't keep up with everything. At first, Brad thought he could handle the burden of living on his own. He believed that the part-time job would be enough to cover his costs, and he convinced himself that he could manage his schoolwork and household chores at the same time. But as the days turned into weeks, the reality of his situation began to sink in. The financial strain was beginning to take its toll. The rent and bills were stacking up, and despite his best efforts, he couldn't keep up with the expenses. Desperate to make ends meet, Brad took out a loan. The loan allowed him to pay his rent and buy some essentials, but it also brought him further into debt. The cycle of borrowing money to pay for basic living expenses continued. Every month, Brad would borrow more money, only to find himself even deeper in debt. This situation was not sustainable, and he knew it. However, he felt trapped. He had no other option but to keep borrowing and hope that things would eventually improve. Unfortunately, they did not. As the months went by, Brad's financial situation became increasingly dire. Unable to afford his rent, he moved into a cheaper apartment. The new apartment was far from ideal. It was small, cramped, and in poor condition. The plumbing was faulty, the heating barely worked, but it was all he could afford. Despite the lower rent, Brad's financial situation did not improve. In fact, it seemed to get worse. The bills kept piling up, and he struggled to keep up with the basic costs of living. The stress of trying to balance work, school, and household chores began to take a toll on Brad's mental health. He was exhausted from juggling so many responsibilities. His job was taking up more time than he had anticipated, leaving him a little time to study for his classes. His academic performance began to suffer, and he found himself falling behind. The dream of completing his degree seemed further and further out of reach. The situation worsened when Brad realized that he simply couldn't continue working and studying at the same time. The stress was too much to handle, and he had no energy left to focus on his studies. And the constant pressure to keep up with his job and his financial obligations was overwhelming. Eventually, Brad made the difficult decision to quit his part-time job. Without the job, he no longer had any source of income. The rent continued to be due, and his debts were mounting. He found himself trapped in a cycle of borrowing money, paying bills, and borrowing more money just to stay afloat. It seemed like there was no way out. Despite his best efforts, Brad's situation continued to deteriorate. Without a job, he had no way to pay for his rent or other expenses. His debt continued to grow, and he was living in constant fear of the debt collectors who would soon be coming after him. He had never experienced anything like this before. He had always relied on the support of his parents and never had to worry about money. But now he was facing the harsh reality of living alone, and it was a reality he was not prepared for. Brad's financial situation became increasingly desperate. He continued to borrow money just to cover the basics. The stress of living with constant debt began to take a serious toll on his health. He was unable to sleep, constantly worrying about how he was going to pay for the next bill. The once exciting idea of living independently had turned into a nightmare. Brad had never fully understood the responsibility that came with independence, and now he was learning the hard way. Meanwhile, on the other side, our lives were moving forward. After Brad's situation started to unravel, we decided to move into a new home together. It was a fresh start for us, a chance to build a new life without the stress and pressure that had weighed us down in the past. It was also the first time we would be living together as a couple, and it felt like a new beginning. We were both excited about the possibilities and the future that awaited us. Moving in together was not without its challenges. It was a big change, and there was a lot to adjust to. We had to figure out how to split the responsibilities, how to manage the household finances, and how to make the most of our new space. But despite the challenges, we felt like we were on the right path. For the first time in a long time, we felt in control of our lives. Living together was also a chance for us to focus on building a future. We no longer had to worry about the stress of living apart or dealing with the complications of our previous living situations. Our new home was a place where we could grow together and create a life full of possibilities. The future was bright, and we were excited to see where it would take us. In contrast, Brad was still struggling. I couldn't help but think about him often. He was stuck in a vicious cycle of debt and despair, and it seemed like there was no way out. The choices he had made had led him down this difficult path, and now he had to face the consequences. It was hard not to feel sorry for him, but at the same time, I knew that it wasn't our responsibility to fix his life. He had to take ownership of his situation and figure out how to move forward on his own. We had made the decision to leave the past behind and focus on our future. Brad, however, was still stuck in the past, struggling to break free from the consequences of his own actions. We had both made choices, and now we were dealing with the results of those choices. While I felt sympathy for Brad, I knew that I couldn't go back and change the decisions that had been made. We had to move forward, and I had to let him find his own way. As we settled into our new life, I couldn't help but reflect on how far we'd come. We had made it through the difficult times, and now we were building a life together. I was proud of the steps we had taken and felt confident that we were on the right track. Brad, on the other hand, had to find his own way. His journey was his own, and I knew that he would have to face the consequences of his actions just as we had faced the consequences of ours. Our lives were moving in different directions. We were building a future together while Brad was still trying to find his footing. It was difficult to watch, but at the same time, I knew that we had made the right decisions to focus on our own future. We had worked hard to get where we were, and we were determined to make the most of our new beginning. Brad, however, had to figure out how to rebuild his life from the ground up. It wasn't easy, but it was something he had to do on his own. As we continued to settle into our new home, I couldn't help but feel a sense of peace. We were starting fresh with no more worries about the past. Our future was in our hands, and we were ready to take on whatever challenges lay ahead. Brad, however, would have to find his own way. His future was uncertain, but one thing was clear. He would have to learn the hard way that independence came with responsibilities, and he would have to face those responsibilities head on. As time passed, we found ourselves growing closer. Our relationship deepened, and we began to make plans for the future. We discussed our hopes and dreams, and we made commitments to support each other through whatever challenges life would throw at us. We knew that life would not always be easy, but together we felt confident that we could face anything. Brad, on the other hand, was still struggling to find his footing. I could sense his pain and frustration, but I also knew that he needed to take responsibility for his actions. He couldn't continue blaming others for his problems. He had to learn to face his mistakes and take control of his life. Despite everything, I couldn't help but feel a sense of sadness for him. He was lost, and it seemed like no one could help him. But deep down, I knew that the only person who could help Brad was himself. He had to face the truth and take responsibility for the life he had created. Only then could he begin to rebuild and move forward.
Regina, are you there? I was wondering if you wouldn't mind helping out with some grocery shopping tomorrow. I imagine that you're free tomorrow, right? So please come over at the usual time to help me. I'm going to be buying some food today, but I also need some toilet bowl cleaner as well as toilet paper.
Hello, Diane. I'm sorry to say this, but I can't go out and do your shopping anymore.
What are you talking about? You know that my legs aren't doing so well and that I can't go out and shop by myself anymore. If you don't do all my shopping for me at least once a week, then how am I supposed to get the things I need to live? Quit being so selfish and just do what I say.
Did you really just call me that? If that's really how you feel, I think that maybe you should go check yourself into a hospital.
How many times have I told you? Aside from my legs, I'm perfectly healthy and there's no need for me to go see anyone.
Hello, Diane. I'm sorry that I had to disappear in the middle of our conversation. I was getting the bandages around my head replaced and put my phone down to do it.
Bandages on your head? What happened? Did you get hurt or something recently? I can certainly see banging your head into something, since you're such a klutz.
I actually received this injury from you today, Diane. I told you that I wasn't really feeling well, but you forced me to go to your family reunion. I couldn't even participate in anything. You just made me cook all the food and serve it to everyone. Then, right when I thought it was done, you came up from behind and hit me in the head with a pot.
The only reason I hit you was because I caught you sitting and I needed to teach you a lesson. You needed to learn that you don't get to rest until every single one of your guests has gone home.
But I had already done so much for you, and all while feeling bad, and besides, they weren't even my guests. They were yours. All I wanted was to get off my feet for a little bit, but I wasn't even sitting 1 minute before you showed up. Then you started saying all these horrible things like just because I send money to you every month doesn't mean I can laze around, and that your daughter works so much harder than I do, and then you smacked me upside the head.
Oh, please, don't be such a baby. I barely even hit you that hard.
Are you kidding me? There was blood coming out of my head. I don't know why you always treat me like this. Ever since your husband died, I've been waiting on you hand and foot, even sending you money every month to help cover all your expenses. I feel like I do every little thing that you ask of me. I know that your daughter got married and moved away, so it's hard to count on them for much help, and I'm not expecting them to make the trip down for everything you need either. But I just don't get why you had to compare me to your daughter when I was the one there actually helping you. And on top of that, on top of all the help and support I gave you, getting hit in the head is all I get in return.
You must really think you're the center of the universe or something, don't you? You married my oldest son, so of course you are always going to be helping me with whatever I need. And you keep going on and on about the money you send, but it's only $2,500 a month.
And you're telling me that isn't enough for you?
I know damn well that my son works his butt off at his job, and then he makes more than enough for the both of you. And yet you insisted on keeping your job even though you knew it meant that you would be spending less time helping me. You sending me that money was a way to help make up for ignoring your responsibilities towards me, and it barely covers that.
I'm sorry, but I think that money is more than enough for you to live off of, Diane.
It's enough for me to get by on if I never want to do anything fancy for the rest of my life.
Look, I'm about to go to the hospital to get all of this looked at, and I just want you to know that I will be charging you for my medical bills.
Excuse me? Is that supposed to be some kind of joke or something? You really need to get off your high horse if you think that this is how you get to treat people for a measly $2,500 a month. I should have hit you harder in the head. Then maybe you would have finally come to your senses. You'll never make me pay for your hospital bills. Okay, fine then. If that's really how you want to play it, then I'll just stop sending you money entirely. Why don't you just go ahead and try it? Just remember that to me, that's all you're good for, and if you stop paying me, I will make my son leave you.
Hey, Regina, where are you right now? I just got home and no one else was there. I'm starting to get worried. All the lights were off and everything. Did something happen?
Oh, Ben, I'm really sorry. I've been so busy that I haven't been able to reach out to you all day. I'm actually just about to leave the hospital right now.
Wait, the hospital? What were you doing there? Did you get hurt?
Well, your mom hit me in the head with a cooking pot. And she hit me right in the lip of the pot, so I was bleeding from the wound a little bit and went to go get examined. Thankfully, the doctor said that it wasn't as bad as it could have been, and there's no brain damage or anything.
I'm sorry, back up. Did you say that your mom hit you in the head with a cooking pot? Why were you even with my mom in the first place? I thought you said that you weren't feeling well and that you weren't gonna go to my mom's family party thing. You even told me that she said she was fine if you didn't go.
I know I said that, but then she showed up to our place ringing the doorbell and wouldn't leave until I went with her. She was making such a racket, and I just wanted to get her away before any neighbors noticed.
What is the matter with her? Why would she do something like that? I'm so sorry this happened, Regina. I should have been more strict with my mom about this kind of thing. And I wasn't, and now you got hurt as a result of my not wanting to stand up to my mom.
Thank you so much, Ben. But please don't blame yourself for any of this. I'll let you know once I'm done here, okay?
Yes, please let me know, and tell me if there's anything I can do for you.
Hey Ben, I'm all done, and I think I've been cleared to go home. Would you mind coming to pick me up?
Of course, I'll be right there. And then I think that I'm going to have a long talk with my mom. There is no way I'm going to sit back and do nothing now that something like this has happened.
I really don't think you need to do that, Ben.
What do you mean? You don't want me to talk to my mom about this?
No, it's not that. I just really don't think that your mom is gonna listen to anything we try and say to her. Besides, there's something else.
Something else? What do you mean by that?
I mean that today, while I was at the hospital, I found out that I'm pregnant.
Wait, really? Are you serious?
Yeah, they did a full-body physical on me and finally used the sonogram and found out. That's why it took me so long to get checked out. But now I'm so grateful that at least I didn't fall on the floor after your mom hit me. Things could have turned out much, much worse, especially for this baby I have inside of me. But anyways, for the time being, I really just don't want to see your mom at all. I don't know if she's gonna try to hurt me again.
I understand that, but I don't think that we can just cut off my mom like it's nothing. If anything, trying to do so might just aggravate her more.
So you're still not quite ready to stop talking to your mom entirely then, even after this?
I know what you're probably thinking about me. Even I'm wondering if this wouldn't have happened if I did something like that sooner.
No, I understand it's asking a lot of you to stop talking to your mom. But I have another idea if you'd like to listen to it.
Hey, Regina, just what the heck is going on here, huh? I thought I told you to go out and do my shopping yesterday. Why isn't it done?
Good morning, Diane. I wasn't able to do your shopping yesterday because, as I told you, I was in the hospital. They kept me there late because they wanted to make sure I didn't have any permanent head damage.
I knew I didn't hit you hard enough. If I did, you wouldn't still be making excuses about why you don't want to help out your poor mother-in-law. But at this rate, I'm going to starve. Is that what you want?
Honestly, I don't think it would really bother me if you did.
Excuse me? What did you just say? How dare you say something like that to a poor old woman like me? You're nothing but a rotten, mean person.
Listen, Diane, I'm not trying to be rude here, but you do have a daughter of your own. In fact, she was there at your little family get-together yesterday. So much of your family was. And yet, I was the one who did all of the cooking and serving. Why didn't you ask anyone else for help?
Because they were all my guests and I was hosting them, of course.
I understand that, but everyone there was family, and I don't get why it would have been so bad to ask for help. Instead, you just put all the work on me and then went to socialize. In fact, not only did I have to cook and serve everyone, but your daughter even gave me her child to look after.
And just what's wrong with that, huh? Don't you realize how busy she is raising her kids all the time? The least you could have done for her was take her kids off her hands for a while and give her a break. I can't believe that all you ever do is complain. Do you enjoy being the way you are?
Regina, are you there? I just want to let you know that I went to the town hall and picked up those documents. It was a bit of a hassle, but I think we got all the paperwork we need. How are you feeling, by the way? You're not straining yourself at all, right? I'll take care of everything at home, so don't worry about that.
Hey there, Ben. Yes, I feel a lot better and more relaxed now. I think all I needed was a few hours to lie around in bed.
So you really don't think you have to go back to the hospital for anything?
I think it's for the best that I don't go. If your mom ever found out that I was there, I wouldn't have anywhere to run. Although I did lie to her about still being in the hospital.
That's probably a good idea. If she knew where you really were, she would probably come over and try to talk to you face to face.
Ben, I just want to check with you one last time. Are you sure about going along with my plan? You know that after this, you're probably never going to speak to your mom again.
I know, but if it's what I have to do to protect you and our child, then I'll do it. I wasn't able to protect you from my mom yesterday, but I won't make that same mistake again. By the way, you remember my dad, don't you?
Yeah, I remember that him and your mom split up and then your mom got remarried, right?
That's right, although it wasn't like they divorced because they disliked each other or anything. My mom actually cheated on my dad.
Wait, what? I had no idea about that.
I know, I should have said something earlier, but I was just so embarrassed about it. I'm sorry that I wasn't more upfront about any of that with you.
Ben, you don't have anything to apologize for. I never really ask about your mom anyways, and you don't need to tell me all your family's secrets anyways.
Thank you so much for understanding, Regina. But anyway, after the divorce, my mom fought really hard to keep custody of us, and that's why we didn't end up going with our dad. But I never got along with my mom's new husband, and only tolerated him because my mom liked him so much. But he was a really strict man who wasn't afraid to punish my sister and I harshly if we acted up. Finally, I just gave up and decided to just accept whatever came my way because it was easier than fighting.
You've been through so much, Ben. I just hope you don't blame yourself for any of it.
I'm not sure, but at least I know that with you, I really feel like I can be myself. And the reason I say all of this is so that you know why it's so difficult for me to leave my mom. You see, not longer before you and I got married, my mom's second husband died. I remember that she was just crushed at the funeral. I'd never seen her so distraught and finally despondent. I couldn't bear the thought of turning my back on her. Even when she asked us to start sending her money every month, I felt that it was okay since she worked so hard to raise us.
Well, you were putting in most of the money that we were sending to her.
But of course I would. I'm her son and she came to me to ask for it. But I can't forgive her this time after what she did for you. So I'm gonna do what it takes and protect you and our child from her from here on out. In fact, I think I knew that I would come to this decision the moment you said you were pregnant. I would do anything for you both. Thank you for showing me that, Regina.
Hey, Regina, how come you haven't sent me any money this month? I thought I told you that if you stopped paying me, that would be the end of your marriage to my son. I'm afraid that that threat isn't going to work on me, Diane. Ben and I are already divorced. Wait, what? What do you mean by that? Are you really so surprised about that? You said that if I stopped sending you money that you would force Ben and I to get a divorce. Well, I decided that I didn't feel like paying you anymore, so I saved you the trouble and divorced Ben myself. You really are an idiot, you know. I must have done more damage to your head than I realized. But now that you've left Ben, you do realize that no one will ever want to marry you ever again, right? I mean, who would want a woman who couldn't even hold her first husband down? You're going to spend the rest of your life lonely and miserable. But I'll be kind and spare you that fate just this once. I'll let you marry my son again if you start sending me the money. Except this time, I want $3,000 every month. Now go ahead and thank me and tell me how grateful you are for this chance. Diane, I think there's some kind of mistake here, because I've already gotten married. Wait, what? You divorced my son and have already found someone else? Does that mean you were cheating on Ben this whole time? Cheating? No, I would never do that. I'm not you, after all. I got remarried to Ben. What's going on here? Is this some kind of stupid game you're trying to play? So then you two never really got divorced and nothing really changed at all? No, you still don't get it. We got married, and this time Ben took my last name. Okay, well now I know that you must be joking. Why would my son want to throw away his family name for yours? Well, that would be because Ben never wants to speak with you ever again. That's a lie too. My Ben would never say something like that. Benjamin, you have got some explaining to do, young man. What is this business I hear about you taking your wife's last name? Please tell me that you didn't really.
No, it's no mistake at all. You've already done all the paperwork, so it's official. I have Regina's last name now.
Oh, you little ingrate. Well, go and reverse it right now. Or do all the years I spent raising you just mean nothing?
I know that you worked hard to raise me, Mom, and I'm thankful for all that you've done. But at the end of the day, you were my mom and that was your job. I don't think I'm obligated to do anything back for you. Besides, you were the one who went and cheated with Dad and got remarried to that horrible man. Not only that, but you two quickly started treating my sister like she was your only child, and I felt like I had no place at home.
Are you really speaking ill of the dead right now? When did you get so disrespectful?
Mom, I know how upset you were when he died, and I really was trying to pity you after he was gone. But I've reached my limits, and now I have to do what I can to protect my family.
Your family? Did you get hit in the head too? I am your family, Ben. You can't just take your wife's name and pretend like we don't exist. Besides, you don't even have any kids. How can you choose your wife over the rest of your whole real family? What did she do to turn you against us?
Enough, Mom! I seriously have had it with you! Regina is pregnant with our child, and as her husband and the father, it's my job to be there for them. And it's clear that keeping you in their life would only be a danger to both Regina and our child. I'm making the choice to protect my family from you. I never wanted it to come to this, but I never want to see you ever again.
Wait, Ben, you can't do this to me. Regina, what did you do to my son? He's blocked my number and he says he never wants to see me again. You knock some sense into this man right this second.
Diane, you really need to face reality. If Ben says he never wants to talk to you again, then I'm not going to breach that wish.
Oh, just shut up, you brat. You turned him against me and you're going to try and talk down to me? How dare you do this to me? But you still haven't beaten me, you know. I still have another child who I can go to for money.
And you really think that your daughter is going to try to do that for you? You're welcome to try, but I don't think it's going to go the way you think.
And just why is that, huh?
Well, because I've already heard that you've been spending all your money on gigolos and hiring handsome men to go out with you. In fact, I've heard you sunk so much money into doing that you're quite a bit in debt now.
Wait a second, how did you hear about all of that?
Oh, don't you worry about that. But judging from your reaction, I take it that all of that is true. So, do you really think your daughter is going to help you out of this mess you made for yourself? I can't see it happening. After all, she already has 3 kids of her own. I seriously doubt she would be able to afford to send you the kind of money that you'd be hoping for. But Ben and I aren't giving you anything anymore either. You'll just have to learn how to make do with your savings and retirement money.
Wait, so then Ben knows about all of this too?
That's right. He knows about your bad habit and the debt it's gotten you in.
Well, if you both know how much money I owe, then you have to help me. I won't be able to live if you don't keep sending me money.
I'm afraid that you and I have nothing to do with each other anymore. You'll have to figure this out for yourself.
This isn't a game. This is my life that we're talking about here. How could you do this to me?
These are going to be the last messages you ever get from me, Diane. I've already reported what you did to me to the police, and you're going to be arrested for assault and fraud.
Fraud? Are you kidding me? That isn't fair. You're just accusing me of false crime now.
But you are guilty of fraud. This whole time you've led me to think that you could barely get yourself around, and that's why you needed so much help. But you had your knees replaced a couple years ago, and you've had no health problems since then. You've just been using me this entire time.
But my legs were bad once. Doesn't that count?
It doesn't. And especially not after how much of my own money you had me spending on you under this false pretense. Anyways, enjoy jail. After that, Diane was arrested and Ben agreed to never speak to her ever again. I suppose it's only natural that a woman who cheated on her husband would turn to paying men to shower her with attention. But I later heard from Ben that even his sister cut their mom off, and that Diane was truly left with no one she could turn to for help. I hear she had to take a couple of part-time jobs just to keep up with the interest payments on her debt. Meanwhile, Ben and I have been enjoying the quiet married life and are eagerly expecting the birth of our first child.
You know, I really want to have a nice and deep conversation with you, Renata. I'm just wanting to know about your academic record. Is it true that you didn't go any farther than high school? How could that have happened to you? You truly are a mistake, aren't you? You're so different compared to your brother, the successful lawyer.
Huh?
Why on earth would you bring something like this up with me? Oh wait, let me guess. It's you, Anna, isn't it? What's brought this on all of a sudden?
What do you mean, what's brought this on? I think you existing as only a high school graduate is what brought this on. I was expecting more of you. Look what I've done, for example. I've married a hardworking and beyond successful lawyer. I really thought that the rest of his family would have excellent qualities as well. But no way did I think that his sister was that stupid. You only just graduated high school? Is that some kind of a joke? Don't you think that you disappoint a lot of your family because of this?
Okay. Are you seriously putting it down because of that? I think the way you're talking to me is disgraceful and makes high school graduates over the country feel terrible. Do you have any idea how rude you're being right now? There are quite a few people in our country that haven't gone to university, and that should be perfectly okay. Not everyone that graduates from school wants to carry on with their education. Maybe they want to work, and that should be okay. In times like this, I think you need to refrain from saying such things, Anna.
Are you kidding me right now? Are you trying to tell me what to say and what not to say? Oh, do you think that theory is going to work with me? You're dreaming, Renata. Wait a minute. Were you just wanting to say something like that to sound smart? Was that your desperate attempt? Well, it definitely didn't work with me. Wow, such a shame that it failed. I suppose your brother is the one that got all the good genes in the family and you got all the crappy ones. At least you've got one thing going for you. At least you're a woman. If you can reel in a good man, you can live a good life and live through him.
Yeah. Well, I don't listen to people that give me that type of advice, Anna. It's not going to help me make me feel better about myself, and I know my worth anyways.
Whatever, I don't care. You do know that no one's willing to listen to a useless person like you. If you really want to be heard by people, why don't you go to college now? Oh, I guess you can't, since you don't have the brains to pass the SATs to get into university anymore. Your education really has been a waste of time for your family.
Anna, do you even think about what you did when you go on and on about my failure to go to college? You may have graduated, but you only got a clerical job. Then you thought it was a good idea to go on a blind date, and then you got married to my brother. You're living a life that's pretty much a model course. You didn't know what you wanted to do as a career, so you took the easy way out. Aren't you dissatisfied with only just being happy with what you've got? Don't you want a career? Are you the type of person that can only establish dominance in life when you put down others for what they've tried to do in their lives?
What the heck did you just say to me? What are you trying to do here? Howl at me like the loser you are and try to take me down? Nice try, Renata. It's not like that at all, and you know it. Your brother, the sibling that's more superior than you, he's just brought us a house recently, so how am I not satisfied with my life? All I've got to do now is be the full-time housewife here and live a relaxed life in my flashy new house. Don't you think that this is a life that everyone envies? Meanwhile, you're just here moaning and groaning when you're only a high school graduate. Even though you're not that much older than me, I still feel so sorry for you. I know that things are difficult for you, but if you try your best to catch a man who has a lot of excellent qualities, you can be successful too, okay?
Anna, up until recently, I thought that you had a cheerful and quiet persona, but I guess I was wrong. Do you think you acted that way when you found out I was only a high school graduate?
But I still am that person. You're still on the right track when it comes to who I am. I'm still cheerful and quiet. I understand you more than you realize. Your family doesn't have a lot of money, does it? I've noticed that your parents' house is rather small, and my dear father-in-law always wears tracksuits. I guess they wanted to do their best to make at least one of their children be the main earner, and I suppose they chose your brother. So you were neglected and only just got to finish high school.
Wow. You know what, Anna? That's actually a great theory that you've come up with. However, you shouldn't criticize other people's families without a good reason for it, Anna. Someday, everything you say will backfire and karma will come back to bite you. Your character will be called into question soon, Anna.
Well, no matter what a high school graduate says to me, it doesn't make much of a difference as a whole. Sounds like you're just being a sour grape to me. Your brother has been making fun of you for a long time as well, and I don't blame him. There's really not much that can be done about what you've had to go through.
I haven't got a clue what you're talking about, but I feel like I'm living a smooth and satisfied life, Anna. If you just keep quiet, I won't hold too many grudges against you.
It doesn't matter what you think of me, Renata. I don't really care. From now on, I don't want to be involved with someone who has such a low-level status. Also, don't ever ask for money from us, all right?
What on earth are you talking about, lady? You obviously don't earn your own money, so I don't understand why you're acting so high and mighty towards me.
Well, I was the one who chose to be with a successful lawyer, and I was the one who chose to be with a good man. That is all thanks to my own ability to attract that type of man. Now, would you just do me a favor? Get out of my sight. There's no need for a lowlife like you to be involved with us anymore. We're ending this relationship with you.
You're cutting me off? I haven't done anything to you. Anna, do you even realize how selfish and horrible you're being right now?
Excuse me, what do you think you're doing, Renata? Huh? What are you here for? Didn't I tell you that we're cutting you off? Weren't you listening?
You say that, but it seems to be all one-sided to me, Anna. My brother is a part of my family, so I think it's only fair for me to come over for the housewarming.
I should have known that a poor family member like you would sneak their way in here so that you could ask for money from my lawyer husband right away. Isn't that right? Did you really think you could get away with this by coming into our house for free and just ask for whatever you want? I don't work that way.
Okay, you've got me really confused. I've got no idea what you're talking about, Anna. Could you just be straight with me so I can understand what you're saying?
You know, if you want to visit our house, it's going to cost you almost $10,000. If you can't pay for it, how about you just go on home now, okay?
That's absolutely ridiculous. You're kidding me, right? You're not actually being serious, are you? Who asked a family member to pay to visit their house?
I'm being dead serious, Renata. I'm making you pay because you're not welcome here. Even though we had a relationship, there was no merit in having it anymore since you're such a failure. I'm not some idiot who's going to be waiting for you to pester me. I'm not going to put up with that. It's best to cut ties with someone who jinxes everything as soon as possible.
Well, I don't know if you can do that since your husband is part of my family. And I'm a jinx. Really? If you feel like this, I guess I'll just go home then. But I do have one more thing that I want to ask you. Don't you think you're going to regret how you've been talking to me and you wanting to cut ties with me?
Are you kidding me with this crap right now? Don't make me laugh. Otherwise, I'm going to start rolling on the floor and I won't be able to stop. Why would I regret cutting ties with a poor, uneducated member of this little family? Just shut up and go home. I don't want to have to deal with you anymore.
Okay. If you want things to end up this way, then so be it. I understand what you want perfectly clear. I'll go home and leave you alone. I hope you don't regret your decision.
Hey, Renata, I'm really sorry about earlier. I didn't actually mean what I said to you. Come over and see our new house. We'll host you and give you some really nice tea and sweets. Renata, please answer my messages. You need to tell that to my dear father-in-law, okay? Look, you haven't answered your phone in a while now. Please reply.
You know what, Anna? My answer is no. Just recently, you said that you severed ties with me, right? Who do you think you are trying to get me to do things for you?
Look, I'm really sorry for saying that, okay? I honestly didn't mean any of it. That's why I apologized, okay? I can't believe that the law firm where my husband works is actually my father-in-law's firm. I never thought it was his father's. He's been keeping it quiet from me all this time, too. So even though I'm not the one truly at fault here, I still will apologize because I'm a good person.
Wow. I can't believe how bad you're wanting to apologize right now. What an absolute joke. Don't you realize how terrible you've been? I'm shocked at your mentality and how you've slowly gotten to these points in realizing things about my family. You've got guts, I'll give you that.
Hey, come on now, Renata. There's no need to be like that when I am trying to make amends here. What should I do about my father-in-law, huh? You were both supposed to come over for the housewarming today, right? That still needs to happen. I'm trying to turn things around, okay?
My dad was with me. We went together and got to the front of your house so that we can celebrate you guys having your new home. But once you showed us your true attitude, well, let's just say it wasn't appreciated by me or my father. So he said, let's just go home to me, until we did. We didn't want to deal with you anymore. Anyways, my dad isn't here at the moment. He's currently playing golf. As he should be, considering he doesn't get many days off and wants to do his own thing.
You've got to be kidding me right now. Renata, this isn't good. I'm sorry that you came all the way here and then he wanted to turn around and go home again. Now, next time he comes over here, I'll treat him right. So why don't you just bring him over here, okay? But then if he's playing golf, there's not much that can be done about what happened.
This is very interesting. It seems like you're panicking and trying to keep a straight face, but it's no use. You're starting to crumble, aren't you? My father's not a man of many words, but it seems to me that he's given up on you after what you've been saying to me. He said that if you're going to have that kind of attitude, we'll make you do things on your own. My father has been helping out my brother a lot up until now, but he's over how you treat this family. He's done with helping out now. He doesn't put you in the best position, Anna. He said something like, I have no intention of helping a family with a wife like you. Well, it seems that as long as my brother is with you, he'll probably be fired. So your attitude is the kind you display when help is needed, and my father is so over that. To the point that he doesn't want to do anything for his son either.
You can't be serious, right? I had no idea that my father-in-law felt that way about me or even about Reagan. Look, to be honest, between you and me, I think your brother is a bit of a show-off. He didn't seem to tell anyone that his father was helping him with things because he wanted to prove that he can do everything himself. He told me he was a self-employed lawyer. I thought for sure that he had his own office and everything. I never thought that his father was helping him out with the firm or anything like that.
Oh, is that what you thought? Well, hate to break it to you, but that's what the situation is. I know very well that my brother has always been a show-off. He's been that way ever since we were kids. I know that he's the type of person who looks down on others and only praises himself when things are accomplished. I think that's what makes you both really similar in how he can deal with your attitude. You probably hide a lot of your struggles to make yourself look cool and that you can handle things.
Well, I never thought that Reagan would be hiding this kind of information from me. I understand now that I was really rude to my father-in-law. I just didn't think he had an office.
Yes, I'm sure you thought that considering you said that he was always in tracksuits, and you thought he didn't do much with his life. I guess I didn't understand what your definition of rich is, Anna. I don't know if my father is the kind of rich person you'd consider ideal, but a person like you would never catch up with him. My father is a businessman who knows how to make deals, communicate with people, and has the ability to make a lot of money because of who he is as a person.
Oh, really? He's like that? He didn't show any proof of the sort that made him seem like a wealthy man. I didn't think he was that much of an amazing person.
The house that they live in. It's small too, right? So you thought they didn't have money, yeah? But what you don't know is that it's my father's 5th house. That house was also purchased with the intention of renting it out. Apparently, moving started to become quite a hassle, and my mother also said that it was difficult to move around when the house was so big. So, of course, the alternative was to get a smaller house, so that's what they live in now. Also, there was a free room, so I'm staying there too.
Huh? What are you even talking about? What kind of extravagant reason is that? Isn't one... I don't understand, but... That means it's not your home, it's your parents'?
I guess you don't know the definition of what a family home is, Anna. Any family member can live there. If it's the house your parents live in, then isn't it the family house? The other house that they've got is already being rented out, so I can't go there right away, unfortunately. So I guess I just have to be patient and wait my turn.
Wait just a minute there, Renata. Does that mean your father is extra rich? Because I didn't hear anything like that from my husband, not a peep.
Well, my brother is a show-off, you see, so of course he wouldn't admit something like that. He didn't even want to praise my dad, even though he was richer than him. Also, if it's the family that's rich, it's actually because of the parents and not the kids. But sure, people mistake that because they turn around and say that Reagan's so amazing. At the time, he was working at my father's law firm, but he thought it would be less impressive to say that rather than say he's an independent lawyer. To be honest, it just seemed that he wanted to look cool in that situation and didn't want the things that weren't true about him to come out. He's so lame sometimes.
So, for that reason, he didn't say anything about it? But if I'm being honest, that makes me more relieved than anything else. It just goes to show how reliable your parents are. I think that we'll be just fine when it comes to working with them in the future, especially now that I know the truth about Reagan's employment.
Huh? What on earth are you even talking about, Anna? Do you really think that after everything you and Regan said, that you asking for help is acceptable?
Excuse me? I think so, because we're all family after all, and I finally understand the situation that Reagan's been keeping from me. There's nothing but benefits in us all working together. Can't we just get along from now on, since I know the situation, and Reagan can just continue on working in the firm so he can earn lots of money along with your father?
Wait, what? Are you being serious right now? Have you not been listening to anything to what we've been trying to say? My brother will be fired because of you. As you just said to me just a few hours ago, we'll be cut off from each other because of the way you've been treating me. There's no reason to be swayed by your kindness.
Hang on, no, that can't happen, okay? Did I not explain myself before when I sent you that apology message? It was all just a dumb joke that I thought you'd find funny, but it backfired, so I said I was sorry. Don't be so angry about it, Renata. This was all just a huge misunderstanding. You know that, right? My husband was being taken care of at that firm, so I just got the whole story wrong.
So basically, you're just trying to keep my brother employed when you already screwed up his chances in the first place with your terrible attitude. So you're being the supportive but rude wife so that you can lead a happy life, right? And that you don't have to worry about money, correct? You know that my father's turned a blind eye when it has come to my brother's behavior up until now. You know that he asked for your hand in marriage without consulting us first. Did you know that? And then you turned out to be a horrible woman who's just a gold digger. This is the result of doing things on your own. My father was shocked, but at this point in time, we're not surprised by your attitudes.
But isn't all of what I said behind us now? It's over and done with, right? Since we're family and whatnot, we should all be trying to get along with each other, okay? If I knew everything about the situation from the beginning, I wouldn't have acted like this towards you or your parents. I would have been a lot nicer.
Well, you should have been nice to us in the first place, whether you knew about my brother's situation or not. It just proves what kind of person you are, and obviously you're a horrible one. But also, if you knew everything, you'd be sucking up to our family anyway. Either way, we'd still know you're just a gold digger. You were pretending to be sly, weren't you?
Hey, how dare you say those sorts of things towards me? I don't think I'm sly at all, or even remotely close to being a gold digger. I'm quite a nice person when I'm kept in the know about things.
Your previous messages say otherwise, Anna. It doesn't change the fact that you said that I was unsuccessful since I was only a high school graduate and everything.
Well, that's what I said. I get that, but that was it. It wasn't anything too horrible, and how was I supposed to know that you have a pretty successful family otherwise? It's totally fine. I feel like we didn't get along well initially. Look, I get it. You're also part of the family, and it's just another family member that I've got to try and communicate with. I can't help what I said was sort of true, right?
Well, incidentally, that was one of the reasons why my father was so angry about this whole thing with you. To my father, I'm his precious daughter, and he wants to protect me.
I don't get what you mean at all, Renata. What are you talking about? Even though you're only a high school graduate, you're still able to fulfill the role of being a good daughter, so you're spoiled, right?
Okay. I see where you're coming from right now, but you're very much mistaken when it comes to my relationship with my parents and my education. My education that I got in the United States is only up to when I graduated high school because I went overseas to do my university education.
Hold on a minute. Did you seriously go overseas to do university? You could afford to do that? Are you kidding me right now with this?
Why would I kid about my education, Anna? Unfortunately, I got sick near my high school senior year, so I wasn't able to go to university for a while after that. But I'll tell you now, I wasn't that bad when it came to studying. I was quite diligent. I studied hard even while I was in the hospital. When I had enough energy, I often used studying to pass the time stuck in that uncomfortable bed. So it was hard, but I managed to not only just finish high school, and then I had to study hard for the exams to get into university. I was able to get into a university overseas, so that's where I studied.
Huh? Are you actually being serious right now? You did all of that, even though you were stuck in a hospital bed, sick? So that means you must be quite smart to be able to push past all those obstacles.
Well, all I can say to that is thank you for the compliment. I appreciate you actually saying that, even though you thought I had no brains initially. You know, we're pretty sure that my brother is not as smart as I am. He just finished high school, decided what path to take, took the exam, got into university, finished, and became a lawyer. It wasn't a very tactful move on his part, so I guess he knew that he was going to get some help from my dad. He's basically eating out of the palm of my dad's hands.
Well, then explain this to me. Why are you still holed up at your parents' house if you're so much smarter than my husband? You can't be too smart if you don't have your own place.
I may like studying, but I'm not the most sociable human being. I want to be able to work in an environment I can communicate well in, so I started my own company and now I work in my room.
Oh, so that's how you're actually getting by. If so, I'd be more than happy to be friends with you, since you're definitely trying to set up your own company and whatnot. On that note, now that I know way more about this family, how about we all reunite again so you can all come over to the house now so we can celebrate and hang out?
I said to you before, Anna, we're not coming over. My father is no fool, and he's not going to be sucked into your fake kindness. After seeing your attitude, he's done with you. There's no way at this point we can all get along and be friends or whatever. It's not going to work. Please live a selfish and happy life with your husband.
But you and your parents can't do this to us. We're also a part of this family, and you can't treat us like this. Your brother got really angry about this. He said he's going to divorce me.
You know what? I'm not surprised that he said that to you after all the attitude you've displayed. He's finally seen the light, I guess. Too little, too late, though. In the end, he's one of those people that lives by showing off his own appearance, and I guess you're spoiling everything for him. You should really treat people better, Anna. If my brother and father are able to cut you out of this family, then so can I. I don't need a sister-in-law who's going to drag me through the mud all the time.
But your family can't do this to me, all right? It was all just a huge mistake, and how the heck am I supposed to live if your brother divorces me? I'm just a housewife, remember? Do any of you understand how much trouble you're causing by trying to throw me onto the streets? You can't do something like this to a human being.
Oh, is that so? But you were the one who was being so rude and obnoxious to us in the first place, Anna. You set yourself up for this, so it's all on you. You really should think about what you've done and try to do better when it comes to other people. All you do is make fun of people. Also, didn't you say full-time housewives are the best? That's on you for thinking that. You realized too late that you couldn't live on your own as a housewife because you'd have no money coming in. Too late to be happy now.
Please, don't say things like that. Why are you being so mean to me when I don't think I was that mean to you? Look, I'm really sorry for everything I said. Please, I'm begging you. I can fix the relationship that this family has with me. I can be a better person. I promise you all that. Please, give me another chance.